And then this will be the defense. That'll be the D for both teams. Starting defense, we'll flip it. And I have the offense in my hand. Well, they got time till the players are setting up for the anthem. They got like 3 minutes.
Let's also welcome our visiting team, the Cumberland Valley Eagles.
This is the Wellspan Orthopedics Friday Night Rivals.
It's football time in Pennsylvania, the start of the 2025 high school football season. 2 6A power programs kicks things off for us tonight in Lancaster. Out of the Mid-Penn Commonwealth, the Cumberland Valley Eagles, and from the Lancaster-Lebanon League Section 1, the Manheim Township Blue Streaks. It's week 1 of Wellspan Orthopedics Friday Night Rivals. Hi, everybody. Great to see you. I'm Phil Shanner alongside former Cumberland Valley standout Fort Chapman. Football is back, and tonight we know in football the line of scrimmage is key every week, and that's where we go with our spotlight player for Cumberland Valley. Big Oak is what they call him, a Notre Dame commitment, one of the biggest players in District 3. We'll see him tonight on that offensive line.
And that offensive line has to control that defense of Manheim Township should the Eagles succeed tonight.
Tyler Merrill, he big, 6'6", 325 pounds. And then for Manheim Township, he is a nose guard and a fullback. Tyler Vayu will be all over the field. He's wearing that number 0 this year. That means something.
And he's a king of the weight room. He sets the example for the Blue Streaks and exactly what Mark Evans wants in his program.
Keys to the game. Let's start with Cumberland Valley. What do they need to do tonight to be successful?
Control the clock and limit penalties as far as Josh Oswald is concerned.
We'll talk more about that as the game goes on tonight. How about for Manheim Township? What do they need to do?
Well, they have a rather inexperienced offensive line. That's going to be big. And also for them is limiting special teams mistakes and hopefully getting some positives on the special teams.
For these two teams have played 6 times over the last 3 seasons. A regular season matchup, then a playoff matchup. The Blue Streaks have owned that series 5-1. They know each other very well. Who will have the edge tonight? Cumberland Valley, Manheim Township. It's the season debut of season number 11 of Wellspan Orthopedics. Friday Night Rivals on MyTV, Central PA.
Major currently on active duty with the United States Army Special Operations Command and the running back coach for our middle school football team. Providing ground support, our team fast tracks members Ali Bucher and Case Faccio. Ali is our MT football special events coordinator, and Case is a running back and linebacker for our freshman team. Being flown are the Armed Forces medley by Eric McCullough, the Purple Heart flag by Pasha Palenka, and our nation's colors by John Foreman. Team Fast Tracks honors each jump with a member from the military forces here. Tonight's jump is in honor of Staff Sergeant Andrew T. Labosco, age 29 of Somerville, New Jersey, assigned to the 2nd Battalion, 7th Special Forces Group Airborne out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Staff Sergeant Labosco died August 22nd in Camp Bastion, Afghanistan, of wounds sustained when enemy forces attacked his unit.
Wellspan Orthopedics Friday night rivals. It's time for our national anthem, sponsored by Pennsylvania National Horse Show.
Here's your shot of all three.
It is Salute to Service Night here at Manheim Township. The national anthem brought to you by Pennsylvania National Horse Show Foundation. Phil Shader alongside Ford Chapman, week one of the 2025 high school football season. And this is a way to start the season for the football is coming in from high above the sky.
Gotta love it.
What a night here to get things started. This is pretty cool, coming right into the stadium, and there's the landing, and that's the game ball as he lands right on the seat, right at the 48-yard line. He's holding the game ball for tonight's game, and it's a big one. Two 6A teams battling in this matchup.
Here comes another one in.
Yep, and one more to come. Three parachuters coming in on this Salute to Service Night. This one with the American flag. Community event here, as Coach Evans talked about, to open the season. Notice the uniforms Manheim Township is wearing. These are special uniforms for this Salute to Service Night. And that's pretty cool. What a way to start the 2025 season. You ready for football?
Oh, you have to be after that.
6A matchup. Now, these two teams, they're familiar with each other. What has happened the last three seasons for? You had a regular season matchup and then another matchup in the playoffs. So here they are starting the season off like they had the last three seasons for the fourth year in a row. Manheim Township has controlled this series against Cumberland Valley. They've had the best of them. What are you expecting tonight?
Well, first of all, let's go back to that first comment about control the series. Mark Evans' squad in the last 5, 6, 7 years, with the exception of the Harrisburg Cougars, they're most likely the #1 football program in District 3, and they do it with a great work ethic, a lot of consistency with that. The kids know their football, they play hard, they play together, and this year's going to be a little bit different because they don't have as many veterans on this team. A great sophomore class, and that's why I think coming in, Cumberland Valley's probably slightly favored because of more experience.
Yeah, you talk about, Mark Evans' team. Last year they were 10-2, lost to Harrisburg in the semifinals. In 2023 they were 12-1, lost to Harrisburg in overtime 34-28. 2022, again 9-4, lost in the semifinals to Harrisburg. So for all 3 years, playoff losses. Cumberland Valley, their playoff losses, their season has ended against Manheim Township, been the team that has knocked Cumberland Valley out of the playoffs the last couple of years. So this will be a very interesting matchup. You already talked about the senior class. A lot of seniors will be on the field tonight for Coach Evans, but they're making their Friday night under the lights debut. They waited through the system. Sometimes in 6A that happens. As a sophomore, you're playing JV. Even as a junior, you're playing JV. You wait your turn, and now we'll have 26 seniors that are on Coach Evans' squad, and a lot of them tonight will be making their first varsity starts. So Coach Oswald for Cumberland Valley in his 6th season as the head coach of his alma mater. He graduated there in 2004, his 16th season overall coaching. He had coaching stops at Carlisle and Central York. Very successful at Central York in his time there. So far, back at his high school at CV since 2019, he's 33 and 31. Coach Oswald took the wing T system that's been run forever at Cumberland Valley, switched it to a little more of an open set. Time now for our injury report, brought to you by OSS Health, high-quality orthopedic care. And on that offensive line for Coach Evans and Manheim Township. They wanted to start number 71, Harrison Roche, 6'3", 215-pound junior, but he was injured in the scrimmage against Manheim Central, so he will be on the sidelines, and Colton Cardrondo will replace him at that offensive line. So there is our OSS injury reserve report. Time for the opening kickoff of this 2025 season, brought to you by Good Feet Store. We're just about underway. Cumberland Valley and Manheim Township just started off. There is Chase Snyder. Chase Snyder, he played already today. What? Played soccer today. He had a game at 4 o'clock, played Emmaus, and now here he is. Also played on that soccer state championship team at Cumberland Valley. He's the one doing the kick. So it's the Good Feet Store kickoff, and we are underway. Well, he's warmed up already because he already played a soccer game. Kicks it into the end zone. So Snyder kicks it into, that's an interesting story to have Snyder there. They took Coach Billman, and who won that state championship in boys soccer, and took Snyder, came to play football. There is Coach Evans. Coach Evans, of course, in his 13th season at Manheim Township, 27th season overall. He also coached at Elko for a number of years there. Played at the University of Miami. The U was a member of the 87 and 89 national championship teams under Jimmy Johnson and Dennis Erickson.
Yes.
Yes. Coach Erickson. 1st and 10 for Manheim Township, and they start with the pitch, and that's a guy we're going to see a lot of on the run. So that is Vayu. We're going to see a lot of Vayu, and Coach talked about Vayu and how much he loves the weight room. The kid benches 400 pounds, squats 600 pounds.
The Blue Streaks and Coach Evans surely want to be able to control some clock here and move the chains and possess the ball a little bit. It's going to be interesting how willing they are to throw the football early.
Holmes made that last stop, so no gain, 2nd and 10.
4 receiver set.
Kneff to throw his first pass, has the completion at the 29-yard line, making his varsity debut. Dixon makes the catch. Dixon, 27 catches a season ago with 8 touchdowns. And there is Jake Kneff, the 6'3", 205-pound senior, making his first varsity start at quarterback and has a completion.
What they did there, the Blue Streaks, they put 3 receivers into the short side of field to the left, put number 4 out here to the right all by himself, motioned to back out to empty, and then hit him on a nice slant semi-curl route to move the chains.
Kneff, a pass.
3rd and 1.
Yeah, pickup of 9 yards, 3rd and 1 coming up for the Blue Streaks. Handoff comes to Vayu, and he is tackled for a 3-yard loss in the backfield. And you see Vayu being hit by Holmes. Holmes, one of the most physical tacklers on this Eagles team. He had 57 tackles last year, and he filled that gap very quickly.
Jaden Holmes, very impressive there. Lost his footing, but was right there to make the tackle to force a punt.
Zulik will do the punt for Manheim Township on this 4th down after they lost a couple of yards.
They have too many people, and they have too many people on the field. 13 players.
Cumberland Valley will call timeout. Going back to our keys to the game, that was a key for them, is making sure that you didn't have penalties. But week 1, you're going to have those type of situations. 13 guys on the field in a special team situation.
Yes, the most important of the all the special teams are the punt return, because you're doing it very quickly and it's within that play clock. Whereas with the kickoff and kick return, you have a little bit more time to make sure you have 11 out there.
Tonight's Friday Night Rivals live stream is sponsored by Care Property Services, the only call you need. So impressive Cumberland Valley start. They were able to stop Taylor Vayu for 2 negative runs.
And you see it all the time now at all levels of football. Usually the pros are under center at that point, but at high school and college, when you're in shotgun, when you need half a yard, sometimes it can be a detriment.
Zeno's back to receive the punt for Cumberland Valley. The punt by Zulik, who gets it off. And it takes a bounce at the 42-yard line. They'll get away from it. That's where Cumberland Valley will have the football as it rolls down to about the 27-yard line. So that's where Cumberland Valley, the Eagles, We'll start with the football. The Eagles last year 6-6. They beat Governor Mifflin in the playoffs, then lost to Manheim Township. How about this? Last year in this matchup, week 1 game, controlled by Manheim Township 42-14, but then that playoff matchup in the quarterfinals, much closer, 1 touchdown game. 14-7 was the score in that playoff matchup.
The same thing happened 2 years ago on that great Manheim Township team. Cumberland Valley played with them pretty well through 3 quarters.
So the Eagles with the football. The question is, who was going to be the starting quarterback? And it's Cam Wolf will be the starter. Cam started the season last year but was injured and then replaced. And the first give, nothing there. Slipping down was Sherman. Elijah Sherman's a do-all athlete. He is going to not leave the field. He's a guy they're going to really rely on, but wasn't able to get his footing there. Loss of 2 yards on that play. And there is Cam Wolf, last year 20 of 33 passing, 290 yards, 1 touchdown a season ago, but then he was injured. But he's a dual threat. Colton Stammy, remember him? He's the one that led him in the playoffs. So it was a true preseason between Colton and Cam who would get the start. And a wide open Smith. Smith with some running room, short of the first down, picks up 8 yards. Smith a season ago had 20 catches and 3 touchdowns. He's a breakout wide receiver. He has a lot of Division I offers.
You'll see here they brought Smith he was lined up all by himself to the left. 3 wideouts were to the right side, and they just shallow drag with Smith to the side of the trips, and he was wide open there, as you saw, for a nice gain to give Cumberland Valley a 3rd and medium.
You give him 8 yards, 3rd and 3 from the 34-yard line for Cumberland Valley. Cam Wolf, the senior, 6'1", 180 pounds, getting the start for this Eagles offense.
Bubble.
Get it into space, the completion to Pines. Pines has the first down, and that'll move the sticks up to the 44-yard line. And Pines is a guy they really want to get. What a reliable slot. 3-year starter. Pines, 31 catches a year ago, and that is a kitchen saver first down.
You got 2 receivers on the edge blocking. It's basically a toss to a running back, but yet you're doing it, giving him the ball out in the flat, throwing the football rather than pitching it.
About a 10-yard pickup, 1st and 10 for the Eagles, their first drive of the game. Manheim Township 3 and out, they had a punt. Here comes some pressure, plenty of time to throw the football, and they get it to Smith. Smith in space, and he has 12 yards and another first down for the Eagles, another kitchen saver first down as the Eagles are in Blue Streaks territory.
Blue Streaks dropped 7 in the coverage there, and it was just a shallow cross again to a short-handed receiver who does a lot with the ball after the catch.
So Cumberland Valley moving the football on their opening drive. 8:25 to go first quarter. Scoreless game, the 2025 season underway. This is Wellspan Orthopedics Friday night rivals.
Looks like quarters coverage on the outside.
Sherman gets it. Sherman across the 40 and down to the 38-yard line. Great first down play, getting Sherman in space. Sherman, the 6'1", 185-pound junior, they need him to have the football in space.
It's obvious that right now the State College grad, offensive coordinator for Cumberland Valley, Joe Gazza, is simply throwing the ball quickly to his skill guys and having them run after the catch. Manheim Township is going to most likely adjust. They have a very veteran defensive coordinator, Scott Yoder, and he's done a great job with this defense over the last decade.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard pass play to Sherman. Sherman has a couple of catches already.
Unbalanced line to the right, and they're going to call a timeout here.
There's a timeout on the field. We'll step aside as well. The Eagles are driving opening night of high school football. 7:30 to go, opening quarter. Manheim Township is where we are tonight. Week 1 of Wellspan Orthopedics Friday Night Rivals, big 6A matchup. The Eagles are on the move, their first offensive series. 2nd and 5 from them on the Blue Streaks' 38-yard line after a timeout. We'll see what Cumberland Valley comes up with.
Different formation from prior to the timeout here.
Cameron Wolf, the senior, getting the start tonight for the Eagles. Time to throw the football, goes downfield towards the end zone. Incomplete, had a man, just overthrew him, was looking for Smith. Smith is a big target, 6'4", 205-pound junior, overthrew him by about 4 yards.
And he got behind the defensive backs there in zone coverage. When you're in a deep zone coverage like that, the last thing you want to do is get beaten deep. And it happened there, but the ball was, like you said, was overthrown.
Guys looking at Smith, Syracuse, Penn State, Ohio State, a breakout wide receiver. Really had a huge offseason, a lot of attention on Smith. He's expecting to have a huge year, the junior for the Eagles. So here a 3rd and 5 from the 38 for Cumberland Valley, trying to continue this drive. An impressive opening drive with 7:23 to go, opening quarter. They get the ball to Smith. Smith has the first down.
No, they're not going to give it to him.
Oh, it looked like he has it from this point. Oh, that would be really close.
Half a yard.
So
they're going to go for it, obviously.
Just shy. So 4th down, he was just shy of grabbing that first down. There you see where he had that football. Sherman trying to extend it out, but just shy. So 4th and short coming up for the Eagles. They're going to go for it.
From shotgun. Just similar to what Manheim did on the 3rd and half a yard.
So less than a yard, half a yard they need for the first down, the kitchen saver first down. They already have 2 first downs in this series. Quarterback keeper Wolf going forward and has enough for the first down. And that will be a kitchen saver first down on the keeper by the 6'1", 180-pound senior. Pushes forward and gets the first.
As you see it here, the advantage of your quarterback keeping there, he has a lead blocker. The running back can lead block for him. The disadvantage is it's a straight ahead run and there's no, it's all straight full flow. The defense knows where it's going.
The offensive line is led by Carson Davis, the captain, steady leader, 6'2", 235-pound senior at that left tackle. And on that line of scrimmage for Cumberland Valley, they have 2 seniors, 2 juniors, and a sophomore for Coach Oswald on the offensive line. 1st and 10 from the 33, 6:20 to go, opening quarter. Eagles love to strike first.
Quad set here.
Wolf, quick pass, has the completion. Just a gain of about a yard, and that is it. Well covered. Sherman makes the catch, but was well played by Manheim Township's defense swarming.
That looked like a run-pass option, meaning the quarterback can throw the bubble, which he did, or he could have run the ball on his own with a lead blocker. The 4th guy in the quad set there went in and blocked up the middle, and the quarterback elected to throw it out in the flat.
Benak made the stop. He's had 2 or 3 stops already on this opening drive for the Blue Streaks defense. So got back just to the line of scrimmage, so didn't even grab a yard. 2nd and 10 for the Eagles. They're working in Manheim Township territory. A give to Rocco Bushman. Who's he? He's a freshman making his debut. And how about Bushman? 5'9", 160 pounds, and he's a surprise weapon. They didn't know about this kid in the North Penn scrimmage. He lit it up and they said he's ready to go. So there's his first carry as a varsity player as a freshman. And he picks up 5 yards. 3rd and 5 coming up from the 28.
Another run, that was an RPO as well.
Rocco Bushman, the freshman, with his debut. Wolf rolls out, has the completion to Pines. Pines short of the first. Again, well played by the Manheim Township defense, because they have to be spying number 1. Brody Pines is a 3-year starter. They know about number 1.
Really like the job that number 10 did for
Bomberger.
Manheim Township. Yes, I was having trouble seeing the number there on the far side. Making a tackle and forcing the 4th and about 2 yards to go. Really nice tackle in space. So the corner for Manheim.
So 2nd, 4th down opportunity here. Cumberland Valley going for it again. Successful with the quarterback keeper by Wolf. This time a little further. 4th and 2 from the 25. Let's see what Coach Oswald and the Eagles come up with as far as a play. Pines goes in motion. Direct snap. They're going to give it to the freshman. The freshman fighting his way. Rocco looks like he has the first down. Depends on the spot. Might be short. Might be short.
Got it.
No. He needed 2 yards. He got a yard. So the freshman, Rocco Bushman, unable to get the first down, and Manheim Township takes over on downs. Big stop by the Blue Streaks. You see number 77, Will Malazzo, the 6'2", 230-pound senior, and he's a veteran. He's one of the captains, one of the leaders. Coach Evans says Will needs to play big tonight for them to have a chance, and he made a big play there.
Sure did.
Ending the Cumberland Valley drive.
Which was pretty impressive. Mixing run and pass and using their athletes in space, the Eagles did. But the Manheim Township defense came up strong there to hold them.
So a 1st and 10 for Manheim Township from the 24. And quick screen pass there in space to Fletcher.
That's exactly what it was. Quick screen, because those linemen were going downfield to block. And knowing the ball's getting out and it's thrown behind the line of scrimmage, those linemen can do that. Really good job by the left side of the line. But there's interesting what this penalty's going to be.
We'll wait for the call. First penalty of the night here at the 4:04 mark of the opening quarter of the 2025 season.
Holding, number 78, blue. 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
So Colton Kemp, the sophomore on that line of scrimmage, called for the hold. And when you look at this offensive line, this is a young bunch that was a concern. Exactly, you know, a lot of these guys waited to play, waited their turn, and Coach Evans says the only way you're going to know if these guys are ready is you got to put them in the fire.
Absolutely.
Tonight, Coach, they're in the fire, right?
There it is.
And there was the penalty on Colton Kemp, the sophomore. So there are 4 seniors on that offensive line with the sophomore Colton Kemp, but besides Will and some of these other guys, Jake last year was a swing man, played a lot, but really only one true starter returning from that offensive line, even though they're seniors. Pass, was it caught? No, incomplete. Almost a one-handed grab, but Feliciano couldn't come up with the catch.
Phil, let's talk about what happened there. Cumberland Valley brought the house and went straight man, and interestingly, Manheim lined up in a 5-wide set, and had that ball right here, you'll see it again, had it been caught, it was going to the house. He may have scored here.
Feliciano had 15 catches, 146 yards a year ago, 5'8", 160-pound senior. Just couldn't come up with it for Jack Kneff. And Kneff, he's a 3-sport athlete. Not many 3-sport athletes around anymore. He excels at football, basketball, and baseball. You were a 3-sport athlete when you played at Cumberland Valley. Doesn't happen as much anymore in the current landscape of high school sports.
No, it doesn't.
Penalty marker down, and looks like it's going to be against Manheim Township.
Prior to the snap, delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty, replay second down.
So the Blue Streaks hurting themselves. 2 penalties, the hold, and then that miscue.
Yes, and you know, there is a lot more specialization in high school. There still have some multi-sport athletes. I'd love to still see it. My dad always encouraged it with his football players. He was also the track coach, which was helpful. My dad played 3 sports in college, so I'm sure he's going to encourage it.
Handoff up the middle, trying to get some running room and trying to get some of those yards back from those penalty yards that have really hurt the Blue Streaks.
In a situation like this, on 3rd and 22, you got to be very careful that your quarterback makes a heady decision here. I like the play call there, positive gain. And at worst, you just want to be able to give your punter plenty of room there and just get the ball off and
3-yard run by the sophomore P.J. Myers. Now, Coach Evans said, remember that name. He's going to be good. Number 35 had his first carry there of his varsity experience, and he picked up 3 yards. Pines made the stop. So now a 3rd and 22 from the 12.
Good comeback.
The completion is made right around the original line of scrimmage and gains a few yards. And throwing on the run that time was Jack Kneff. Dixon made the catch. Dixon's 2nd catch of the game.
They rolled this quarterback out here. It's a safer play, although he got clobbered right after he threw it. But a nice completion on the comeback. Comeback meaning the receiver went down and then turned to the outside, coming back to the ball.
That was a 16-yard pass play with the completion to Dixon, but 4th and 6 from the 28 for the second time. Manheim Township will end up punting the football back to the Eagles. Zulik with the kick, and it goes out of bounds. The Eagles will have the ball offensively again for the second time. They had a nice drive, but stalled out for them. It's time to raise the roof on week 1 of Wellspan Orthopedics Friday Night Rivals, brought to you by Able Sun Roofing and Siding. Always a good night to raise the roof, especially on week 1. People have waited all year for this. Before you sign, call us. Able and Sun Roofing, our sponsor of Raise the Roof. The student sections are back. Cumberland Valley student section all in red. And at Manheim Township, they're in the red, white, and blue colors tonight on Salute to Service night. So the Eagles have the football back, their second opportunity on offense, 1st and 10 from their 47-yard line. The Eagles drove it right down the field, but then stalled out on their second 4th down opportunity, a 4th and 2, and they only got a yard. Turned the ball over on downs to Manheim Township. Scoreless game between these two teams. Again, it's become a tradition for the 4th straight year that these two teams open the season against each other. The pass is caught. 11-yard completion. Cam Wolf with the completion. Kitchen saver first down. What a way to start the drive. Wolf with that completion. And
Zayden Smith just ran downfield about 10 yards and turned to the outside, and the ball was right in the money. Very nice throw and catch there.
Smith has a couple catches tonight. He had 20 catches a year ago. Big target, Smith is 6'4", 205. Great route that he ran there for Cameron Wolf. Got the 11 yards and the first down. So already the Eagles find themselves back in Manheim Township territory with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Time to throw for Wolf. Now steps up in the pocket. He'll keep it himself. Wolf with his legs picks up 12 yards and another kitchen saver first down. Great run by Wolf.
However,
there's a
looks
hole.
like potentially a hole in the backfield for Cumberland Valley. I'd be surprised if it's not. And that's what it
10-yard
is.
penalty, previous spot, replay first down.
Our spotlight player, the Notre Dame commit, gets called for the
How
hold.
about it?
Hey, when you're 6'5", 320 pounds,
It's
do you
your
need
seat.
the hold? You need the
How
hold,
about
but you're going to see that, right?
How about it?
A lot of eyes on Tyler for sure. There's a look at the captain going to Notre Dame. There you can see it on your screen. Tyler, they call him Big Oak. He had a lot of choices. Everybody was after Big Oak, and he decided in January that Notre Dame is where he's going to play his college football. So with the penalty, it moves them back 1st and 20. Now from the 48, the Eagles back in their own territory. Inside run. Gets to the 46-yard line. Cameron Wolf kept it himself. That was a nifty play.
Yeah, I liked the play before that, even though there was a hold. Nobody was open, and he decided to put the ball down and run with it and did a really nice job. When you can mix run and pass like that, especially when you're trying to throw the ball and nothing's there and the quarterback makes a play, that's impressive.
6-yard pickup on the run. 2nd down now for the Eagles.
That's something Manheim Township has had lately with their quarterback play the last several years.
Eagles back in Manheim Township territory at the 46. Wolf fires downfield. He has a man, but lobs it up. It's a 50-50 ball, and it's picked off by Manheim Township. Coming up and making the interception is Dixon. It was a 50-50 ball, and Dixon comes up and has the INT. Dixon, the 5'11 senior, with the pick.
And Dixon was in good position here. The ball could have been a little bit farther if you're Cumberland Valley, and Dixon brings it down. Now there's a penalty afterwards, and I'm not sure what it was. Let's see if we can see it on the replay here.
There you see, looking for Sherman, who is a
Oh,
top
Dixon.
target. Yep, that right there. You saw the shove. Good
Yeah.
job by the crew.
They were holding his helmet. The receiver was holding his helmet, but he gave that last shot, and they're going to call
After
that.
the interception,
You
there's
gotta
a
have
dead ball,
poise.
personal foul, number 4 blue, penalty is set past the distance of the goal, first down.
Discipline, right?
Oh.
Discipline. You make a great play. You have an interception for your team, and then you just add that push, and that sets your team back.
And he did it because the Cumberland Valley receiver gave a little bit to him first, but you got to know not to retaliate. And you do something like that, it's going to cost your team. And Manheim is now back inside their 10, trying to generate some offense.
Well, you know that Coach Evans not happy about that. Those kind of mistakes you cannot have. Comes up with a great play, the interception, and hurts his team. We'll talk a little bit more about,
He'll learn from that.
yeah, the some of the things that both coaches do with the culture of their program. They really work on culture at both Manheim Township and Cumberland Valley. Handoff straight up the middle gives them a little bit of breathing room there, trying to get them out of the Vayu with the carry, trying to get him a little bit out of the shadow of their own end zone. Sherman made the stop. Vayu last year only had 4 carries, but he had 3 touchdowns. So 4 carries, 3 of them went for scores. So short yardage. Vayu with all that strength. He's the nose guard, for goodness sakes.
How about it?
He's going to get more opportunities to run the football this year because, you know, Clancy last year over 1,800 yards and 18 touchdowns. He averaged about 7 yards a carry. He's gone. He graduated. A lot of the offensive skill players have graduated. Completion there to the 22-yard line. And great job by Jack Kneff. And Landon Crane makes the catch. And that'll be enough for a first down for Manheim Township.
With Kneff on the roll here, when you can roll out and get that sideline route or comeback route, it's very difficult to defend, and they're throwing it on time. Both quarterbacks so far throwing those comebacks on time and executing very well for the first game of the season.
Kitchen saver first down, a 13-yard pickup on that pass play.
Screen.
Kneff on the screen has the completion. Now in space, some running room across the 30, and another positive play. Pick up close to 10 yards. Dixon with the catch.
When we say screen, for those of you at home, the ball's being caught behind the line of scrimmage, which allows the offensive lineman to take off down the field in advance.
We are through one quarter, scoreless game. Back and forth we go on Wellspan Orthopedics Friday Night Rivals. Scoreless first quarter between Cumberland Valley and Manheim Township. It's Wellspan's Orthopedics Friday Night Rivals. Phil Schinner alongside Ford Chapman. Second quarter underway, and it starts with a penalty.
A legal procedure on the offense. Right side of the line moved early.
Wolf has done a nice job passing on the other side, 7 of 8 for 48 yards. And Jack Kneff making his first varsity start, also impressive tonight for Manheim Township. Both quarterbacks have played well in the first quarter.
Wolf's actually, in theory, 8
Prior
for
to
8
the
for 8.
snap, encroachment, number 31 defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Only problem is one was the other team, huh?
Yeah.
So he hasn't thrown a pass that's hit the ground yet.
No, he hasn't. That one interception, it was a key. Cumberland Valley was able on their 2 drives to get pretty deep, almost into the red zone, and then stalled on a 4th and 2, weren't able to convert, and then of course the interception that was thrown for the turnover. So 1 turnovers tonight. We have also a couple of penalties on both teams. You always see more penalties than you do mid-season, end of season in the first couple of weeks. It just happens. So Blue Streaks with a handoff to their go-to man, Vayu. Vayu has a run of 12 yards and a first down, a 1-800-GOT-JUNK first down. Big hold for Vayu, and he took it. Big hole there. Coach Evans told a great story about Vayu. He had 2 old weightlifting bars that he was going to get rid of. Vayu said, no, Coach, I want them. He's like, knucklehead, what do you want to do? He said, I'm going to hang them up in my room. The kid loves the weight room.
Yep. Coach Evans has praised him time and time again.
4-year starter he is.
And look at this offensive line. First and empty.
1st and 10 from the 46. Thrown out of the backfield and in and out of the hands of Lojano. Lojano was unable to come down with that catch. Is that hard as a receiver when you're kind of, circling out of that backfield to get that catch when you're kind of looking downfield?
Yeah, that should be rather easy. However, you brought the point. He had a defender from Cumberland Valley coming right at him at the same time, and that was Brody Pines. So when that happens, you sometimes, what looks to be an easy catch, you end up taking your vision off the ball, thinking you're a good receiver, you're going to catch it anyway, and then you're looking at the defender and you drop it.
2nd and 10 from
jet
the
sweep.
46. Little jet sweep, and there's a penalty marker down. Also a tackle for a loss of about 3 yards. So Cumberland Valley swarmed that up. They did not have a problem taking care of that place. Fletcher was tackled in the backfield for a loss by Johnson.
Number 0.
It's going to be declined.
10-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
Are they going to decline it or take it? Because I would decline it if I were that.
What a game number 5 Hayden Johnson's having already tonight defensively for Cumberland Valley. He's been in on at least 4 or 5 stops tonight.
Yep.
Cumberland Valley has chosen to decline the penalty. 3rd down.
So they'll decline the penalty by Vayu.
Because it's a 4-yard loss.
Right. Yep, 4-yard loss. You would have gotten 1 extra if with the call, but good call there. So now it's a 3rd and 14 from the 42-yard line for the Blue Streak. So a passing situation for Jack Kneff, making his first varsity start.
See if Kneff stays in the pocket or they roll him out here. They're going to roll him out. Yep.
Rolls out to the right. Eyes are downfield. Has the completion right at midfield and the catch. It'll be short of the 1st down.
It's going to force a punt, obviously.
Fletcher made the catch.
If you're Mark Evans right now, you're like, we're going to punt from midfield. We have 11 minutes left in the 2nd quarter and score 0-0, and we're a slight underdog here at home. You got to like what you see so far.
How about the Fletcher's triplets? You got Nate and Chase both on the team. Nate is 19, Chase is 22, and they've targeted Chase a couple of times. We're going to see both of those sophomores, the Fletcher boys, tonight for this Manheim Township team. But a 4th and 6, and for the 3rd time, they'll have to punt the football in this game. Zulik's been busy. The sophomore punter will punt for the 3rd time. Sinos back to receive the punt. Calls for a fair catch at the
We have a flag.
15-yard line.
Way back at the line of scrimmage. And it might not enough guys on the line of scrimmage, I think it was. Because it was not a dead ball foul, which means they only had 6 on the line. You have to have at least 7 offensive players on the line on every snap, even in a punt. So Cumberland Valley is going to have the choice to back it up 5 and punt it over, or take the ball where they fair caught it. I would assume they're going to have them punt it over, but who knows?
We'll wait for the call.
Looks like they're going to take the penalty, or decline the penalty, and take the ball at the 18-yard line.
Dixon's been a weapon tonight. 3 catches, 36
Yeah,
yards.
an illegal formation on the kicking team. Cumberland Valley has chosen to take the penalty at the end of the kick.
Coming up next week, we won't be on Friday. We'll be on Saturday, but for a great reason. A special Friday Night Rivals Saturday edition. Bishop McDevitt and Harrisburg. It was a classic last year before we were both on that game and went to overtime. Harrisburg won it. Should be another thriller next week at Harrisburg. McDevitt, Harrisburg, the battle for the Berg. You don't have to say anymore. Both teams ranked in the top 5 in the state. It's just going to be an outstanding game next Saturday at 1 o'clock. So we won't be with you next Friday. Don't worry. We'll see you Saturday for an outstanding game.
Just a fabulous, exciting 4-quarter and beyond football game last year at McDevitt's Field.
1st and 10 from the 23 for the Eagles. And they keep it on the ground. Elijah Sherman gets the carry. Gets about 3 yards. Bennett made the stop for Manheim Township. Give him 2 yards on the run. So Cumberland Valley has moved the football more successfully than Manheim Township, but we're stuck in a scoreless game. Penalties starting to add up, which usually happens
Empty set.
in a week one affair. So
When we
now
say
it's,
empty, that's 5 wide outs.
yep, 2nd and 8. They move Sherman in motion, and they get it to the motion man, Sherman, but well played. Tackled for a loss, and did he turn over the football? Manheim Township believes that he did, but he held on to it. Here's another look. Sherman went in motion, and they got him the ball.
Noah Bennick, good hard-nosed tackle in space.
What a game that Bennick's having already tonight. 3rd down and a tackle for a loss by Bennick. So now a 3rd and 10 from the 23. Bennick has made some nice open field tackles. There's a look at Noah. Noah, the senior, 5'11", 190 pounds.
Blue Streaks are going to rush 4 on this pass, most likely pass attempt, and drop 7 into zone coverage.
Wolf, time to throw, and has the completion shy of the 30-yard line to Sherman.
If you're Manheim Township, that's all you want to do. Keep the ball in front of you, make them throw short, come up and make the tackle, and force the punt.
Bennock again on another tackle. He's going to be in double-digit tackles before halftime. 4th and 3, so see what Coach Oswald wants to do.
This
Fourth down.
rather slightly inexperienced team, a lot of new starters we talked about in the pregame for Manheim Township. They're growing up here in the first half, and they're showing up, getting more confidence as this game goes on.
He looks like he wants to go for it. Could be a quick kick.
Yeah,
Could
he's
try
trying
to draw him off sides. It's a 4th and 3.
They're not going for this.
And quick kick. They'll stay away from it. And it takes a Eagle bounce. Rolls down at the 41-yard line. And that's where Manheim Township will have the football. During the 4th quarter of tonight's game, we'll highlight the school bus stop of the game presented by NHTSA. The law is in every state requires drivers always to stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. This announcement is paid by NHTSA. So we'll have that coming up in the 4th quarter. Blue Streaks have the football back in a scoreless game. 8:40 to go before our CBS 21 halftime report. It's been back and forth. I brought up to Coach Evans, it's been quite a while since the PIAA allowed 2 scrimmages before the season. It's been 1 for a while.
Sure.
And I'm always thinking maybe we'd see less penalties if they went back to the 2 opportunities to get ready for the season. 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. Handoff up the middle. A good 1st down run, close to midfield. So Devin Milano gets the carry, barrels his way forward. Francis made the stop.
Yeah, I think that second scrimmage has always been very helpful for a lot of teams to keep pushing it forward and getting more experience prior to your first game. Now, that's obviously, as you said, a thing of the past.
6-yard pickup on that run.
The big reason is it advances everything sooner so we don't finish the football season as late as we did previously.
Vayu with the carry, bounces outside, up and over he goes and has the 1st down. Good second effort by Vayu. Strong run, 1-800 got junk, 1st down run.
And we have an injured player here for the Eagles.
There's a timeout on the field for the injury.
Is it Sherman? Is it number 3?
We'll step aside, come back after this. Welcome back to Manheim Township, scoreless game. Wellspan Orthopedics Friday Night Rivals. Phil Shaner alongside Ford Chapman. Week 1, Season 11 of Friday Night Rivals. The injured player for Cumberland Valley, Elijah Sherman, took a knee to the helmet when he was trying to make the tackle on Vayu, and he's getting up, which is a good sign. Crowd appreciates that because he was down for a while, was Sherman, and he is a do-it-all athlete. Kid never really leaves the field. He'll have to leave the field obviously now, but walking off on his own power. Great to see Elijah Sherman, who's already been a big part of this game, has a couple of catches tonight offensively, also has done the job defensively. So he is a do-it-all, everything for Coach Oswald and the Eagles.
Glad to see him get up and walk off under his own power.
Vayu's run gave him a first down, a 1-800 got junk first down, so it takes Manheim Township into Eagles territory at the 48-yard line with a 1st and 10. 7:55 to go here in the second quarter.
Empty set.
Wolf fires and incomplete. Was looking downfield, well covered, and as you see, Cam Wolf, the senior, who's making his first varsity start. But you know, one thing about Cam Wolf, he started last year, then was injured, so he had a different perspective with all of that, and Connect, you know, made that, you know, Connect's the guy we talked about, I should say Connect, and ever since 8th grade he's been in Coach Evans's film room, so he's been watching film.
He's learning
8th grade, which is
no
a
doubt.
Huge deal, and he waited his turn, gets his varsity debut tonight.
I watched him for a good while during warm-ups, and he looks like he has what it takes, has a nice feel for the position.
Kneff,
quick screen,
has the completion, the Feliciano. Feliciano going the other direction, but then goes forward for some positive yards, and a penalty marker comes out. So Feliciano looked like he was going to lose some yards, but then just gave himself a little bit of space, and a bit of a sideline warning on Cumberland Valley on the far sideline.
We have a sideline warning, Cumberland Valley.
Looks about 3rd and 6, and you're in a position where if you don't get really close, you're probably going to punt. So they have to get at least 5 here to think about going for it, probably at least 4 to go for it. Interesting to see what they dial up here. I think we're going to see a sprint right. The quarterback's doing a really good job on the run.
3rd and 6 from the 44-yard line. Kneff, a 3-sport athlete, waited his turn to be the starting quarterback, and it's here. And there's a penalty marker down before the snap, and it's going to go against the Blue Streaks.
Number 4, the wideout, the only wideout to the left side,
false
flinched.
start. Number 4, offense.
So that's Dixon.
5-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
As a wideout, you really want to get a good takeoff, meaning get off the ball right, just like a sprinter coming out of the blocks. But if you flinch early, you just got to look in at the ball. It's easier said than done.
You're talking to the ref to get set to make sure you're lined up on the line, but then once you are set, right, you can't move.
That's right. And even if you move slightly, like if you're just moving your hands slightly, that's fine. But he did a jerk motion like he was going to take off running. He thought the ball was going to be snapped, and it wasn't.
So penalty moves him back 3rd and 11 from the 49. Here's Kneff.
He is running room.
He's going to run it. Looking for the first down. Gets up just to the 40-yard line. It will be short of the first down by a couple of yards, but a nice run by Jack Kneff.
And Mark Evans has a decision. 4th and 2.
9-yard gain. 4th and 2 coming up.
From the 40. So you're still in the opponent's territory. He's going to call timeout and talk about it.
And we'll step aside. A big 4th down coming up for the Blue Streaks when we get back. So some time to think about it. 4th and 2 from the Eagles' 40-yard line. If you're Coach Evans, what are you doing?
I think they're rolling this quarterback to the left with a run-pass option to either keep it on his own or throw it in the flat.
Well, look at Vayu. Is he going to get a direct snap? Vayu's the power guy standing next to Kneff. Fake it to Vayu, and they have the completion. What a pretty play. Liliano with the catch and the first down. Wow, they faked it to Vayu and the completion to Liliano.
It was a pretty play. Just put number 7 right in the flat. Good play fake, as you mentioned. Easy type of completion. Run after the catch is great. And the Blue Streaks are in the red zone.
19-yard pickup, a 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. A 1-800-GOT-JUNK first down on that pass play. Kneff to Liliano, the junior, this 5'10", 215-pound threat. So now a 1st and 10, and the first time in this game the Blue Streaks are in business. Vayu breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle. First one he broke was Pines. Pines hit him and just bounced right off of him, and now in the Bath Fitter red zone.
There was nothing there. Nothing at all. No lead blocker.
Watch it here. 1, Pines 2, and then there's one more he bounces off of. 5-yard pickup, and he turned into like a bowling ball.
Oh, yeah.
He's a nose guard running the football.
And there's your weight room for you.
Yep.
Look at that stud.
The weight room pays off. Now 6 carries
so
for
impressive. 17
yards for a kid who only had 4 carries a year ago, but he had 3 touchdowns in those 4 carries, so short yardage was his thing. Picked up 5, 2nd and 5 now from the 16-yard line. The Blue Streaks threatening.
Wide open
Eagles.
again.
Nice play. It is wide open. Kind of the same play, same kind of look play to Liliano, and he's inside the 10-yard line, and now the Blue Streaks really in business. So they found a little matchup there. But there's a penalty marker down. The 1-800-GOT-JUNK first down was, of course, taken care of by the Blue Streaks, but Coach Evans wants to see what the penalty's about. There's the look of frustration on Coach Evans' face.
Don't tell me that Manheim Township lost their composure again at the end of that play, and I'll bet that's what happened, because I see the looks of the faces of the coaches.
That would be disappointed. Here's a look. Tough run. Pines was there to make sure that they were able to come down it, and you see the swarming of the white jerseys, and there it is, right?
He's going to be fortunate. He better hope he doesn't get thrown out of the game, because that was a shot.
Holding, number 65. Dead ball, personal foul, number 7. We'll replay 2nd down.
So the center, Ryan.
You got to be so careful throwing it wasn't necessarily a punch, but an arm to open hands, arm delivery of a very good football player. Just got to keep your poise there. And I'm sure the coaches for Manheim Township preach that time and time again.
So there's Liliano, who got called for the foul, and also the center, Ryan Ocker.
Now the play was coming back anyway due to the off, but now you're going to get 15 tacked onto that.
Yep, there's Rowan there, who was also called for the penalty. So 2 of them really pushes them back. So you were set up down inside the 10-yard line, and now these 2 fouls are moving you the opposite direction. These are the kind of mistakes that Coach Evans knows his team cannot have if they want to be successful.
And now you got to think, let me just see here, the ball's going to come back 5, 10. It's going to come back potentially to the 40, past the 40-yard line.
That's a lot of penalty yards.
Because one was a dead ball foul. I don't know why they're not moving the ball yet. What's going on here?
They got to do the math. That's a lot of math to figure out, a lot of yardage there. There's a look at the student section for Manheim Township, the Blue Streaks. Kind of in the red, right USA theme tonight.
Just outside the 40 if I did the math properly.
Well, we'll check. We'll see what kind of grade we give Ford Chapman on his math. You're right, just a tad off, right to the 41.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I had some great, you're a girls basketball coach. So fortunate at Cumberland Valley years ago having math teachers, trig and calc and junior and senior by Joe Walker, who just passed away in the past couple months. What a great teacher. He was the girls basketball coach at Cumberland Valley for a good while.
Joe Walker almost got you right. You got a 95%. You said the 40, it's at the 41, but not bad. There's Milano on the draw play, trying to get some of those yards back. But it is 2nd and 30. Milano picks up a couple of yards, but they have a long way to go. Hayden Johnson made the stop on that draw play. They'd have to get the ball down close to about the 11-yard line to get a first. So a 3rd and 25 from the 36 as the Blue Streaks digging out of penalty trouble. Clock runs at 4:50 to go before our CBS 21 halftime report coming up.
If you could get 15 to 20 yards, you may have yourself a field goal here. They got to pick up about 15.
Kneff, throws, downfield he goes, has a man, comes up and tries to make the catch, and he does!
Incredible catch.
What a catch at the highest point, and a Faulkner Subaru touchdown. Wow, are you kidding me? Dixon climbs the highest point and makes the touchdown catch, a 25-yard touchdown. Kneff to Dixon, what a grab, take a look at it again on this incredible catch.
If you're on defense, you got to bat that ball down. You got to go up high and bat it down. He turned his shoulder and let the offensive guy, receiver, get a little bit past him. And that's a no-no in zone coverage, especially on 3rd and a country mile. Not easy to defend, though. These Manheim Township players have some really good skill shown right there.
25-yard touchdown pass, and Manheim Township takes the 7-0 lead as they strike first with 4:33 to go in the 2nd quarter. Dixon with the catch, the touchdown. He had 8 touchdowns last season and has his first of this season. And Kneff with his 2nd varsity touchdown of his career. He had a touchdown last year. He played in 5 games. He was 13 of 20 and did throw a touchdown a year ago, but this is his first touchdown pass as now the starting quarterback, the senior for Manheim Township Blue Streaks.
And I like the way Kneff threw it up there, bided his time to be able to get the ball thrown, and then just threw it up where it could be potentially caught.
Tonight's Friday Night Rivals live stream is sponsored by Care Property Services, the only call you need. So the Blue Streaks strike first. Manheim Township, besides the 6 penalties for 45 yards, have overcome that. And they are on the board with the Kneff touchdown to Dixon from 25 yards. And Manheim Township leads at 7-0. This is a Manheim Township team used to scoring points. Last year there was 5 games where they scored 40 points or more. Crispino will kick things off in our Good Feet Store kickoff after the touchdown.
Very, very impressive, this Manheim Township program, year in and year out. And this year, not quite as talented as some of the other ones, although they have a lot of very talented sophomores and a few other junior seniors who can play some really good, tough football, and they're showing it here. But expect Cumberland Valley to make a move of their own.
Good Feet Store kickoff to
Pines.
the Eagles. Pines, he's dangerous. He's a top special teams player. Great open field tackle. And the Blue Streaks, they have a little bit of momentum coming their way. Sages makes the stop, the senior. There's 26 seniors on this Manheim Township team. As Coach said, a lot of these seniors have waited their turn to play. That was a great open field tackle.
That is kickoff coverage. Now, the other thing you got to look at, that ball was kicked down to around the 1-yard line, and Cumberland Valley's front group didn't necessarily get back enough, and great job by 14 to get through their Sages and make a big play.
Pines is a dangerous special teams player, but outstanding play there by the Blue Streaks. So the Eagles find themselves down by a touchdown, 4:28 to go here, 2nd quarter, and they'll keep it on the ground. Bushman, freshman, gets the carry and pushes forward for a couple of yards. Again, this is a special surprise weapon they didn't know they had. Really had an unbelievable offseason, and then they said, we'll see how he does in the North Penn scrimmage, and Rocco did a great job, and it's his 2nd or 3rd carry as a freshman playing varsity football. 6-yard pickup for him. So Manheim Township, a 10-play, 59-yard drive, ended up with the touchdown. Dixon with the catch from Kneff. And there is the handoff, nowhere to go. Great job by the Blue Streaks. Bushman stopped right at the line of scrimmage. So the scoring summary, sponsored by Bella Concepts Remodeling. Turn vision into reality. 10-play, 59-yard drive. Ends with that beautiful touchdown catch by Dixon from Kneff.
We're going to see the ball in the air here. 4 wide outs, 3 to the wide side of field to the right for the Eagles. See if they can connect and keep this drive going, or Manheim can get the ball back.
3rd and 5. Here comes some pressure. And Stamey, who's in at quarterback, has the completion. So Smith, big target, comes up and gets the grab, and that's good enough for a 1-800-GOT-JUNK first down. New quarterback, Colton Stamey, in relief of Wolf.
Nice pass by Stamey to his big target to the left there. The only receiver lined up to that side.
12-yard pass play. Stamey last year led the team in their playoff run. 72 of 119 passing last year through 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions for 922 yards as a freshman last year. Now he's a sophomore, so he has some varsity experience, and he will run it.
Quarterback draw.
Good run there.
Fake the bubble. Lead blocker with the one running back that's lined up in the backfield, and quarterback follows him for some nice yardage there. You saw the linebacker there for Manheim made the tackle, but was dropping for pass, as he should, in zone coverage. Luano.
There's Stamey, who lost his helmet, so he'll have to go off the field. So Cam Wolf, who started the game, will come in now for Cumberland Valley. 2nd and 3 from their own 37. 2:20 to go before our CBS 21 halftime report. Time to throw the football, you would think, but he held it too long, and a sack and a loss in the backfield. Coming up, great penetration there by 6'1", 240-pound senior Max Kohlbrenner makes the sack. No, that's Jake Ruck who made the sack. Jake Ruck with the sack for Township.
At front 4, both teams are usually rushing 4 guys on pass plays in their 4-man fronts and dropping 7 into zone coverage.
Ruck is a guy that played a lot last year on the offensive line. Coach Evans said that Ruck last year was his swingman. He played everything, tackle, guard, just kept switching it up. Played a lot, didn't start, but played a whole lot a season ago, and Ruck made that big sack for the Manheim Township defense.
A lineman and Brody Pines both flinched
Prior to the
offensively.
snap, false start, 13 white, 5-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
13 and 1 both flinched them, because they definitely Pines flinched out here.
Cumberland Valley, not as many penalties as Manheim Township, but penalties are costly. They happen a lot in week 1, so that'll move them back with a 3rd and 13 now from the 27 for the Eagles as they find themselves down 7-0.
Remember, we had 2 quarterbacks in here, one for just one play of this. But when you have a quarterback rotation, sometimes the cadence is a little bit different, and with their voice inflection, with their expediency of the cadence, whatever it is, and sometimes that can cause, you see that at all levels of football, can cause some problems.
We talked about that in the pregame when we were down on the field checking things out. You talked in depth about the cadence and how big of a factor that is.
Yes.
It's something that you need to practice, as you talked about it. Your team's practiced it on Wednesdays.
Especially right there. Manheim, long cadence, Manheim Township defensive end jumps off sides, 5 yards.
So share with the viewers what you did when you coached to help with the cadence, something that you worked on every Wednesday with your team.
Prior to the snap,
Yes.
encroachment, number 9 blue, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
We worked on it often in team, but we also had a special setup on Wednesday during our tackling sessions, our stations. One station I would take that would work on just that. We do 10-yard sprints, working on offensive cadence. We had a lot of different ones, and then offense, obviously defensively, and going on ball movement. Because early in the year, especially, if you don't work on that enough, your team can get caught on both sides of the ball, 5-yard penalties.
Stamey back in at quarterback, fires and has the completion to Pines. Nope, he didn't catch it. Hit the ground, incomplete. Pines wasn't able to grab it.
And when you have a game like this, we have another one going on tonight, Central Dauphin hosting Central York. And this game here, the difference of winning and losing, as we know, you say it in basketball as a coach all the time, the little things, taking care of the little things, and penalties can be a big part of that.
So now a 4th down, and the Eagles will have to punt the football to the Blue Streaks with 1:28 to go before the half. Give them another opportunity to see what they can do. Dixon back to receive the punt from Alderman. Alderman to punt it. Nice punt. Takes a bounce backwards after it hits at the 28-yard line. So that's where Manheim Township will have the football. Coming up next week, we won't be with you next Friday. We're normally with you on Friday Night Rivals, of course, but it's a special edition of Friday Night Rivals on a Saturday for a good reason, the battle for the bird. Harrisburg and Bishop McDevitt. Next week, it was a classic. We had it for you last year at Bishop McDevitt at Rocco Hortensio Stadium. Went to overtime. Harrisburg came back and won that game. And that'll be a matchup that the whole state will be interested in. Harrisburg and Bishop McDevitt next week for you. We'll see you Saturday at 1 o'clock. 4 and I will be there, and we are looking forward to it at Harrisburg High.
Last year, both teams came up with district titles. McDevitt went on to win the state championship, and Harrisburg wasn't far from it.
Yeah, Harrisburg was the one that ended Manheim Township's season for the 3rd straight year in the playoffs last year. 1st and 10 now, 1:18 to go for the Blue Streaks, trying to add to their lead. And pass downfield and incomplete.
I mentioned that game going on at Landis Field right now. Halftime score just got Central off and leads Central York 9-6 at halftime.
It's 7-0 here. Manheim Township with the lead. It was a scoreless first quarter, and then a 10-play, 59-yard drive ended with a 36-yard touchdown. Beautiful catch by Dixon, make it 7-0. So a 2nd and 10 from the Blue Streaks' 34-yard line. Again, the Blue Streaks have owned this series against Cumberland Valley. And there's a completion in space. Feliciano.
15. Gets out of bounds.
Gets out of bounds and was hit out of bounds. Gets into Eagles territory, and they'll add to that with the penalty. Feliciano has a couple of catches tonight. That was his biggest catch and run of the night for a 1-800-GOT-JUNK first down.
Josh Brewall with the hit. Out of bounds. Good hustle. Trying to make a play, but you got to know when to hold up. And that's going to add 15 to it with 1:07 left in the first half.
What are you saying to your players in those? You see white, you got to stop, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Another thing that happens early in a season more often than later. And another thing, that was an under route. The receiver came from the right side of the alignment, came shallow under, nice pass and catch, and then a fabulous run after the catch, and tack on 15.
So depending if there's more than one penalty here, we might be 100 yards combined in penalties here in the first half.
Holding, number 77, blue. We have a dead ball, personal foul, number 17, white. We'll enforce both plays in the order of occurrence.
Okay, so we're going to go back.
Take a look here at the
29.
hold for. See the hold right there.
There's the shallow cross. So the ball's going to go to the back 10, but it's going to go up 15 to the 44.
And then the late hit.
Yeah, so
the hold at the line of scrimmage, and then the late hit.
Excuse me, 39. 39-yard line. Looks like it'll be second. Oh, the replay the down, so it'll be 1st and 5.
So how about that? Very close to 100 yards combined penalty yards here in the first half here in week 1 between the two teams. First 5.5 minutes, we went without a penalty. And then once we got that first, there was a bunch. So they'll work things out. We'll figure out what the distance is with the 2 penalties enforced. So Manheim Township will get 5 yards in their favor to give them a 2nd and 5 from the 39, and a down over after all that. They really had to think about that, work that out with the hold on the line of scrimmage and then the late hit out of bounds. So 2nd and 5, 1:07 to go before the half from the 39-yard line for the Blue Streaks. Lead the series 7-1 between these two teams. Throws over the middle and incomplete. Was looking downfield for Baumberger.
Zayden Smith on nice coverage there.
Well, Zayden Smith has the advantage at the 6'4" frame. Baumberger's at 5'10". He was really right on him. He was there to knock it down.
Got to be careful with that offhand that you're not resting it too hard on that shoulder, but no flag there.
And we talked about, Sherman or Smith, the guy that's getting Division I recruits, and he's getting recruited on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, okay.
Also, Pines is as well. So Coach Oswald, when I talked to him this week, he said, hey, you know, we have guys that are very good offensively, but he goes, they're all kind of being recruited on the defensive side from the colleges. And there's a timeout on the field with 1:02 to go, with a 3rd and 5 for the Blue Streaks with 39 seconds. Stay tuned for the CBS 21 Friday Night Rivals halftime report, highlights and stats from this first half. We'll also go through the schedule for you. The games we have coming up for on the Friday Night Rivals. Great schedule put together for this season, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Also have our Scholar Athletes, brought to you by Schellenberger Januzzi Wolf LLP. All coming up on the CBS 21 Friday Night Rivals halftime report. Phil Shaner alongside Ford Chapman. Ford Chapman, a former Cumberland Valley standout whose father was an outstanding coach. The field is named after your dad. Your memories of Cumberland Valley, and I know you moved there, right? Your dad took a job there, and that's how the family got out there.
Yes, my dad went to John Harris, which is now Harrisburg High. John Harris and William Penn joined in 1971. But my dad graduated from John Harris and then coached there for 5 seasons under George Chomp for 2 and Mickey Minnick for 3, just prior to it merging to be Harrisburg. So we moved right at the beginning of that merger.
3rd and 5 from the 39. Vayu, he's a bull going forward. Not enough for the first down, though.
If you're Cumberland Valley, you may want to get a timeout to get the ball back.
Vayu, just look at the size of him, 5'11", 250, weight room warrior, loves the weight room. Can bench 400, squat 600, and there's a timeout on the field with 53 seconds to go here before the half. Vayu, 6 running attempts, 18 yards. How about the senior, Jake Kneff? 9 of 12 passing for 124 yards and that touchdown. And Dixon has 4 catches in this first half, 72 yards and a touchdown. So there's the offensive stars for Manheim Township, who lead at 7-0.
Now, if you're Manheim, you want to get this. The most important thing is to get the punt off. And to do that, you got to protect. Good snap, good protection there. They're in a double tight slot formation, so they have 8 guys protecting the punter.
Now, Coach Oswald believes that there's enough time to get an opportunity to get some points on the board here, right? You get it.
Well, let's see if Cumberland Valley rushes here. See what they do. If they bring an all-out rush.
Sinos will be back to receive the punt for Cumberland Valley. He's at the 23-yard line.
Cumberland Valley looks like they're bringing 8.
Zulick's been busy punting here in the first half. It's this punt off. It takes a bounce and takes a blue streak. A little bit of a roll, maybe not. It was out of bounds, and the Eagles will have the football at the 36-yard line.
Nice field position.
Yeah, with 47 seconds to go before the half to see if they can have an opportunity to put some points on the board. And there you look at the quarterback. He didn't start the game, the sophomore, but Colton Stammy in at quarterback now, relieves Cam Wolf, who did start.
It's a nice luxury to have. They have 2 bona fide signal callers that can both move this offense. Let's see what happens here in the last 47 seconds for the Eagles.
Coach Oswald said that's a nice problem to have 2 quarterbacks, and they really didn't know who they were going to start. It was a game-time decision, and they went with Cam, the senior. Now Colton has an opportunity. Let's see what he can do with it. 1st and 10 from his 36-yard line. Has time to throw the football, and there's a big target is Smith. He was hit right away.
Those under routes can be successful, but if you, like Manheim did, tackle, clock's going to keep running. And there's not much time. Time is now Manheim in a big prevent defense, just trying to give nothing big up. Keeping everything in front of it. 3-man rush.
Yep, Rontel made that big stop for Manheim Township. 2nd and 8. Stammy fires it, and it is picked off. Intercepted.
I really like what Coach Yoder did with his defense there. He said, everybody back up, keep everything in front of you, and break on the football.
Simon Dumpster with the interception. So another pick by Manheim Township's defense.
Trying to hit Pines on a corner route, but with all those guys, defenders staying back, and playing the football, it's going to be tough. It was tough to get anything in there.
Dumpster was just waiting for that ball. He just sat back, the senior, and got the pick. 6'3", 175-pound senior. Another one of those guys that was a senior that waited. 26 seniors on this Manheim Township team, and a lot of them are making their varsity debuts tonight. They played JV as sophomores and juniors, waited their turn, and their turn is now.
Missing a player is Manheim, a running back. They need a running back. They call a timeout.
You're telling me there's only 10 out there?
Unless there were an empty set, it's tough to see.
Manheim Township, timeout.
Manheim Township calls timeout. 15 seconds to go in this long first half.
We only had a quarterback in the backfield. Unless they had an empty set, it looked like they were missing one.
It's already 8:21. We're still not at halftime yet. It's a 7-0 score, so there wasn't like there was a lot of scoring opportunities or stops for scores, but there has been quite a few penalties. Close to 100 yards combined between these two teams yardage-wise in penalties in the first half. Coach Yoder.
There he is, the defensive coordinator, retired from teaching. It's his third year, going to his third year, retired. In his late 50s now, heck of a guy. Coached with Jim Cantafio, that's where I first got to meet him, and wealth of football knowledge. And he's running that defense, and he
pitching a
has
shutout.
intensity.
Pitching
Yes,
a shutout so far. His defense is Coach Yoder's D. So 1st and 10 from the 43, 15 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Jake fires downfield and almost intercepted, overthrew his intended target. Looking for Fletcher, and it was almost picked off by Cam Wolf. Wolf almost had an interception.
I like the aggressiveness by Township. However, you do have to be a little bit cautious, because the last thing you would want if you're in their shoes is to throw an interception where there's a big return afterwards.
We will hear from Coach Oswald before halftime, get his thoughts on this first half. See what kind of adjustments his team has to make here in the second half, down just 7-0.
Don't be surprised if we just get a little quick handoff here and get out of the half for Manheim. He's going to throw it.
Play action.
He's going to go for something.
Fires downfield and incomplete. Was looking for Baumberger and was over Zach's head. So now it'll be a 3rd and 10 with 4.6 seconds to go. Rowley was on coverage.
Cumberland Valley doing exactly what Township did with their prevent defense, keeping guys deep, not saying we're not giving up the big play, put something in front of us.
Third and 10 from the 43, probably the final play of the half. Give the handoff to Veyu. Bounces off a couple of tacklers, gets across midfield, and that will be the final play of the first half. Manheim Township with a 7-0 lead. Time for both teams to hit the showers with West Shore Home. Hitting the showers with West Shore Home. And our CBS 21 halftime report is coming up. But first, we'll get a word with Coach Oswald about the first half. And then we'll head off to our halftime report with the CBS 21 halftime report on the way. So we'll wait for Coach Oswald to get in position and get a quick word from him. (7-0) Manheim Township. We had a scoreless first half, and then things got tight in the second half with some penalties. And Coach Oswald is in position now, so we'll get a quick word from Coach Oswald. Coach, great job of your team in that first quarter of moving the football. Got stalled out, but again, week one, penalties, mental mistakes. What does your team need to clean up here in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. It's week one, so we need to make sure that we clean up some of the things we're shooting ourselves in the foot offensively, not taking what they're giving us. I think there's a lot of things out there that we can get after, and we're going to clean it up here at halftime and correct them for the second half.
Defensively, your team did a nice job defensively. Talk about their aggressiveness.
Yeah, I mean, again, those are the guys that have been here for a long time, so they know what they're doing. Fortunately or unfortunately enough, we know this team well enough. We've seen them twice a year for the last 4 years, so This is something we practice for all off season. This is a big one for us. To give up one score in the first half with as poorly as our offense was playing, I'd say we're doing all right.
Thanks, Josh. Have a great second half. 7-0 our score at the half. Manheim Township has a 7-0 lead over Cumberland Valley. It's week 1 of Friday Night Rivals. We'll be back with the CBS 21 halftime report when we get back.
Closed captioning for tonight's sponsored by Columbia Cottage. Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by Columbia Cottage. This is the CBS 21 Friday Night Rivals halftime report.
Phil Shaner alongside Ford Chapman back here at Manheim Township. What a night, opening night. Always a lot of fun. Salute to service night here at Manheim Township, and the Blue Streaks lead at 7-0 over Cumberland Valley at the half. Ford gives us an opportunity to talk about our wonderful Friday Night Rivals schedule. Believe it or not, this is the 11th season of Friday Night Rivals and our season debut of season number 11. Good one tonight, Cumberland Valley and Manheim Township. As Coach Oswald said, these two teams seem to meet each other at least twice a year for the last couple of years. Next week, as we already talked about, we won't be on Friday night. We'll be on Saturday, 1 o'clock. Bishop McDevitt at Harrisburg will be an outstanding game. We already talked about that. So let's talk about in week 3. Dallastown at Manheim Central. Then in week 4, Newport at Camp Hill. Central Dauphin at Cumberland Valley. So we'll see the Eagles again. We'll see Central Dauphin the very next week, September 26th, State College at Central Dauphin. And then Cumberland Valley, we'll see them for the 3rd time on Friday Night Rivals at Bishop McDevitt. And then Bishop McDevitt and Central Dauphin. Week 9, Trinity and Susquehanna Township. And then week 10, Central York at York. That is our schedule. Some thoughts on this season and some of the teams that we're going to see on Friday Night Rivals this season.
That is a phenomenal schedule that was put together, and I look forward to it so much because you have teams like Dallastown and the great program of Manheim Central for decades now. We have a smaller game with Newport and Camp Hill. Camp Hill always tough, and then just rotating the McDevitts, the Cumberland Valleys, the State College, the CDs. Very exciting. At the end there, Susquehanna Township, Joe Heaton's done a great job over the years, and followed by a big York rivalry.
Commonwealth. Harrisburg the favorite?
Well, until somebody beats them, I would say that they are. And they have some skill coming back, and they also have an offensive lineman that is a stud. And until somebody beats them, I look at them as the favorite.
McDevitt last year, first year in the Commonwealth for a while. They like that. I mean, it helped them, maybe helped them win a state title last year.
Oh, without a doubt. We used to think that way back. You know, Coach Rimful was the coach at McDevitt when the Mid-Penn started in 1982, and they were in the Commonwealth, which was called Mid-Penn 1 then. And when you play that schedule, it gets you prepared for the playoffs. And for a lot of those years, McDevitt was not playing at the top classification. They were the next one down, or the one down after that. So Coach Wechter has done a fabulous job of once they get to the playoffs, they play top-notch football. And in 2 of the last 3 years, they've won state titles. And now that they're back in the Commonwealth, they were this close to winning it this past year in the Commonwealth. And, you know, that Harrisburg-McDevitt game that went to overtime. And then State College always has something to say. And with Harrisburg losing to Cumberland Valley in an upset late in the year at home, it enabled a two-way tie for the title with State College and Harrisburg.
That was probably the biggest win of Cumberland Valley's 6-6 season last year, was the upset win over Harrisburg.
No doubt, no doubt.
CBS 21 halftime report will roll on from Manheim Township. The Blue Streaks, they have the lead, 7-0, just one touchdown lead here in week 1.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by Columbia Cottage. This is the CBS 21 Friday Night Rivals halftime report.
2 6-8 powers in District 3, just one touchdown between them. 7-0 our score. Manheim Township leading at the half over Cumberland Valley. Let's take a look at our first half highlights. CBS 21 halftime report. And right off the bat, defense was a story. Defense was getting there on both sides of the ball. See the stop there by Cumberland Valley, then Manheim Township, and then they're going to open things up a little bit here with the pass, but the defense comes up. Dixon with the interception. Dixon had a great first half, so they're defensively getting the interception. And how about offensively with this outstanding catch? The 36-yard touchdown catch by Dixon. The only score of the game, it was a 10-play, 59-yard drive. And then Stammy comes into quarterback. Cumberland Valley played two quarterbacks, Wolf and Stammy. Both of them threw an interception. So 2 interceptions thrown by the two Cumberland Valley quarterbacks. There's your Wellspan Orthopedics Friday Night Rivals first half highlights. Now, the stats. Let's take a look. Total yards, Manheim Township 180 to 94 for Cumberland Valley. I guess the big thing there is the turnovers. 2 for Cumberland Valley, 4, and then those 7 penalties for Manheim Township, maybe holding them back from only having the 7 on the board.
The 2 turnovers is misleading. Let's look at the 1 interception was big, but the second one was right at the end of the half. It really didn't matter. The thing that gets me right there, Cumberland Valley, 18 yards rushing. Now, I know this isn't a Harry Chapman III, a Tim Rimpfel, or even a Mike Whitehead offense where the running game is urgent and pertinent. But I'm sure that Josh Oswald, with the spread offense, wants to have a better mixture. And that 18 yards has to increase. And you have to have not only the balance, it's a threat to be balanced as well, but they got to get more than 18 yards on the ground, in my opinion.
That was one thing when we talked to Coach Oswald at the end of the first half. He was disappointed in his offense. He felt there was some things out there, so that's what he's talking about right now at the half. We are at the half. Manheim Township with a 7-0 lead over Cumberland Valley. It's a Lancaster-Lebanon team against a Mid-Penn Commonwealth team tonight in week number 1 of high school football.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by Columbia Cottage. This is the CBS 21 Friday Night Rivals halftime report.
The Cumberland Valley Marching Band finishing up. They work just as hard as the football teams. They've been working all summer on their halftime performances. Great to have the bands back, the cheerleaders, the fans. High school football, it's back, week number 1. Time now for our Scholar Athletes, brought to you by Schollenberger, Januzzi, Wolf, LLP. And we start with Cumberland Valley from the football team. Andrew Alderman, you saw him punting tonight and playing at the defensive end. He's also a wrestler, outstanding in the classroom as well. Cumberland Valley's Scholar Athlete, Andrew Alderman. And for Manheim Township, the quarterback, the 3-sport athlete. We already talked about him. Football, basketball, baseball. Jack Kniff, making his senior debut starting at quarterback. He is the Scholar Athlete. So congratulations to both Jack and Andrew. The students chosen each week for the Scholar Athlete are also eligible to win the $3,000 scholarship to be presented at the end of the season, courtesy of Schellenberger, Januzzi, Wolf, and LLP, who are proud to support and encourage outstanding student athletes across central Pennsylvania. Congratulations to our Scholar Athletes. One quick comment before we already talked about it, and you mentioned it, not as many three-sport stars. Your dad encouraged that. You played a bunch of different sports. It's rare now, though, in today's age. A lot of specializations. A lot of guys just play one sport, some two. But, you know, our quarterback tonight for Manheim Township, he is an outstanding three-sport athlete and plays all three.
And I love seeing it. Cumberland Valley kid wrestling, football, and then, yeah, Kneff playing all three. That's great stuff.
Kneff's very good at basketball and baseball and having a great night in his varsity starting debut at quarterback tonight. We are at the half. Manheim Township 7, Cumberland Valley nothing. Second half is coming up. This is the CBS 21 halftime report, Friday Night Rivals.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by Columbia Cottage. This is the CBS 21 Friday Night Rivals halftime report.
Phil Shaner alongside Ford Chapman. We're at the half. Manheim Township up 7-0. Coach Evans down on the sidelines with us. Coach, good first half. I know one area you're concerned about, penalties, discipline. Talk about that.
Oh, the lack of discipline is what's going to get you beat. And you're making good plays. You're executing. I think we've stayed together in the face of adversity, and it's all self-inflicted adversity, too. So, again, I'm trying to find this young team who's growing their way into playing, but we've got to eliminate. We had only one offensive possession without a penalty on in the first half, and we've got to eliminate that in the second half if we're going to be successful tonight.
Coach, we talked about it last night. You have 26 seniors. You have a lot of seniors that are making their Friday Night Lights debut tonight. How are they playing? We talked about you're going to put them right in the fire. Some of these guys have stepped up pretty well making their varsity debuts tonight. Yeah,
as I said before, if we can eliminate the foolish penalties and stack some drives and stack some plays, I think we're going to be okay. But at the end of the day, you keep shooting yourself in the foot. There's not a darn thing you can do about that, you know? The kids have stayed resilient. I'll give them that.
All right, thanks, Coach Evans. Have a great second half.
Thank you.
All right, so we hear from both head coaches, and we're getting ready for the second half. Let's talk a little bit about some of the stats. Cumberland Valley offensively, 6 first downs. Now, this will come interesting to you maybe. Third downs, what do you think? Any idea what they are on third downs, Cumberland Valley, in that first half? Now, remember, they're 1 of 2 on fourth downs.
Yeah, I'm going to say they're around Just a little under 500.
2 of 8.
Okay.
On third down. So that's an area that they want to, work on, of course, there. And as far as, trying to improve on that a little bit, and as far as some of the, individual numbers going, as far as passing the football, of course, they've gone with 2 quarterbacks, trying to throw that football, trying to get that done. 12 of 16 for the 76 yards, as we showed you that before. So what do you think? What's Coach Evans said to his team at half? What did Coach Oswald say? What are the keys in the second half for one of these teams to come out and start the season 1-0?
I think definitely from Coach Evans' standpoint, he talked about eliminating the penalties, but also I think his team is growing up right in front of his own eyes. And I think they're playing hard-nosed defense. They're getting good running, mixture of run and pass. And when it's time to run the ball, they're getting some real rugged runs. And then on the other side, Cumberland Valley, they got to be able to run the ball. And their passing game is getting them close to the red zone, but they got to be able to make that next step and put the ball in the end zone.
There you see the sophomore quarterback, Colton Stammy, who didn't start but came in relief of the senior, Cam Wolf. Looks like he'll get the start for the second half. Manheim Township, 9 first downs in that first half. They were 1 of 9 on third downs. As far as running the football, Vayu has 8 rushes. He's 35 yards. So he was the top run carrier.
Bottom line, Manheim Township is running the ball more successfully than Cumberland Valley so far. And Cumberland Valley, both teams are getting a little bit of running game out of their quarterbacks, which I like. Even when it's not an intended run, back to pass, nothing's open, they take off running, picking up positive yardage. That can be key too.
Knaff making his varsity debut at quarterback, the senior, 9 of 14, 124 yards and a touchdown.
If you said to me that this is his senior year and it's his first game, this looks like he's 2-3 weeks into the regular season so far.
I agree. Dixon, 4 catches, 72 yards and a touchdown, also has that interception. So when you talk about star power, Dixon's been a star tonight for Manheim Township. So second half, it's a 1 touchdown game, 7-0. Again, these two teams met last year, and it was a big win for Manheim Township, and then the second game of the season in the playoffs was a lot closer. That was a 1 touchdown game, 14-7. Here's the Good Feet Store kickoff to start the second half, and it was touched by Pines, and it'll be a touchback as he dropped the ball in the end zone.
You cannot, in high school football, it's been a rule forever, you cannot return the ball out of the end zone. If that ball crosses the plane of the end zone, it's automatically out to the 20, which can be a big asset for a good kicking team. We saw it on the opening kickoff. Cumberland Valley had that major weapon with a good, very, very good football player and pitcher, pitched at Clemson, and a kicker at Clemson, Jeff Save. He was able to kick the ball into the end zone for Coach Rimpfel back in the late 80s, early 90s consistently. And
was that Save, was that his son that played the last few years on the Cumberland Valley team?
No, that was his nephew.
Who was an outstanding player both on the offense and defense for Cumberland Valley.
Yeah, and he's a catcher out of West Virginia, yes, who got drafted. It's Eric Save's son.
1st and 10 now for the Eagles to start this second half, and there is the freshman, Rocco Bushman, who gets the carry for a couple of yards.
Yes, Logan Save is the name of the former Cumberland Valley athlete, now West Virginia catcher, just got drafted.
Manheim Township, we mentioned this, leads the series 7-1 since 2017. The last and only Cumberland Valley win in that stretch was in 2022. Cumberland Valley won that game 31-27. But since then,
yes, I was at that game, a heck of a football game in the regular season.
Manheim Township has won 6 in a row in this series. Trying to get the ball to Zayden Smith, the big target, but well defended and knocked down and incomplete.
When you're a quarterback, and there was an example, Stamey throwing here, but if you throw this ball late, you got to be super careful throwing the ball late, a little bit inside. Very nice break on the ball there.
Zach Bomberger was the one that broke on that football. He's been very good tonight defensively. How about these jerseys, too? It's pretty neat that the team will get to keep these jerseys. It's pretty exciting here with the salute to service members.
Here's your trips open.
We go
on a
third
big
and nine. Third and 9 from the 21 for the Eagles to start this second half. Down 7-0.
Flood route.
Fires downfield as an open man and a completion and a 14-yard pickup and a first down on the big completion to Collins.
Here's what they did. 3 receivers, outside guy flies down the field. Other 2 receivers, a flood route. He hit the second guy on about a 15-yard sideline route for the completion.
Dixon made the stop, but it was a 14-yard pickup and a kitchen saver first down on the completion from Stammy to Collins. Collins had one reception last year as a junior. Picks up his first grab of this season for the senior, 6'1", 175 pounds. First and 10 from the 34-yard line for the Eagles. They give it up the middle to Bushman, and there's a penalty marker down as he's shy of the 40-yard line.
That's the yardage you need. You need to get 3-4 yards on a first down play, but potentially a holding call thrown by the umpire there.
We heard from Coach Evans and Coach Oswald, both not happy with the discipline and the amount of penalties that both teams committed in the first half. Wait for the call.
Holding on the offense, number 77, 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
The penalty on the offense.
That's the left guard, Sean Trotty. Those 10-yarders, they're tough to overcome. Now you're in a first and a 20 situation.
First and 20 from the 24 after the penalty.
You got to use the air usually to end up getting the 20 yards back, even though you have 3 cracks at getting it. Motion to empty, screen, or draw.
Stammy's going to run it. And not much. Gets a yard, and that is it. Stammy did a great job coming in relief last year as a freshman and led them on that playoff run. And got them a playoff win and got them to the second round of the playoffs until they lost to Manheim Township a year ago and passed for close to 1,000 yards last season as a freshman with 9 touchdown passes. Second and 18 now for the Eagles. Not the down and distance they want from their own 26-yard line. Coach Oswald talked about wasn't happy with the way his offense played. And there's maybe a Caden situation where it's Vayu who came across number 0.
I think it was the right guard that moved first.
We'll have to wait to see if it's on the offensive guard or not.
Yes, it is.
Penalty, replay second down.
It was not 56. He's the tackle. It was the right guard that
Trotty again. Early. Maybe 77 or 71.
I think it was 71 on the right side there. And it's the big stud.
Yeah, that'd be Tyler's second penalty he's committed. Merrill, who's the Notre Dame commit. Big Oak, his nickname. Second down, Stammy in trouble. He's being pressured from the back, and he throws the 3rd interception of the night thrown by the Cumberland Valley offense. Stammy's second pass that was picked off by Sherman. So Sherman with another turnover. 3 interceptions thrown now by the Cumberland Valley quarterbacks into some pressure that caused that turnover.
Stammy's trying to make a big play, but you got to know that you're not going to get the first down anyway. And in a situation like that, even though it's only second, you got to maybe think about throwing that thing away.
So 3 interceptions thrown by Cumberland Valley's quarterbacks tonight, 2 by Stammy and 1 by Wolf. And now their defense is in a tough position as the Blue Streaks have the football. The Eagles' 34-yard line with a 1st and 10, leading 7-0. Be big for them to get a touchdown here in the start of this 3rd quarter. Vayu tackled in the backfield for a loss, and what an outstanding job.
That's Johnson, Hayden Johnson.
Johnson, it was explosive in the 1st quarter. He had 4 tackles in that 1st quarter, then was pretty much silent in the 2nd quarter, and here coming up with a big play, a tackle for a loss for Hayden Johnson, this junior, who had 58 tackles a season ago.
Blitzed right through from his inside linebacker position and read that run beautifully.
Tell you what, Johnson was a big reason they were able to pull that upset against Harrisburg. He had a tremendous game last year against Harrisburg as a sophomore at the linebacker position in Cumberland Valley's biggest win of the season last year, the upset victory over the Cougars. 2nd and 12.
Nobody's there.
Smart move.
Yes,
There's a kid playing in his first varsity game at quarterback, but again, Jack Kneff is a guy who was our scholar athlete, a smart kid, has been watching film since 8th grade with Coach Evans.
You just have to be careful if there's no receiver in the area, trying to avoid a loss and throwing it away, because there was really no one in that, from what I saw in that specific area. But fortunately, for Manheim, he got away with that, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and long.
So now the question is, can the Cumberland Valley defense come up and make a big stop after the 3rd turnover of the night? Manheim Township, they want to convert. 3rd and 12 from the 36-yard line of the Eagles. Coming out of the pocket, the ball's batted in the air and falls down. Another great play by Johnson, number 5, coming there to knock it down. Johnson making 2 big plays on this defensive stand.
You'll see initially a 4-man rush, and then Johnson becomes the 5th man as he reads it. Leaves past coverage and comes in and makes a big play to force a punt.
What a job by Cumberland Valley's defense. They were put into a bad position after the 3rd interception, but the defense steps up and holds Manheim Township a 4th and 12 now from the 36.
Only 10 players
Zulik
on the field for Cumberland Valley.
Zulik to punt for the 5th time tonight. The sophomore punter has been busy. His 5th punt of the evening, standing right at midfield. A low snap. Gets it off. Little booch kick, trying to get out of the way, and takes a Manheim Township roll inside the 10-yard line, down to about the 7.
Man short there on the punt return unit.
It's time for our mustache cam. Yes, it's back for another season. Why not? Looking for some of the best mustaches around the stadium. Powered by Barber Styling Institute. Good to have Barber Styling Institute's mustache cam back. There's a great stash as we search the crowd tonight on week 1 of Friday Night Rivals for some mustaches.
The first guy on the Barber Styling Institute here on the Manheim Township in the bleachers was wearing a white Micah Parsons Dallas Cowboys jersey. I wonder if he knows the first game Mike ever played in high school was right here, his freshman year.
Only you would know that for. How about that? So there is our mustache cam, brought to you by Barber Styling Institute.
With only under a minute to go, not only did down 6, not only did Micah block the punt, he picked it up on one hop and ran it in for a touchdown with a missed extra point then, but forced overtime and a Central Dauphin win.
So the freshman there, you talk about Mike as a freshman. Well, how about Rocco Bushman, the freshman running back, getting to start tonight?
Yes.
He was the surprise weapon. Talking with the Cumberland Valley coaching staff, they're like, man, we have something real exciting here with Rocco. And he said, we'll see how he does in the scrimmage. And he did really well against North Penn last week. Pines with the completion, trying to fight his way for the first down, has it. Up to 22-yard line, a pickup of 12 yards on the completion, and a first down to Pines. And that's a kitchen saver first down.
Nice throw by Stamey, uncovered receiver. Just ran about 5 yards down, turned around, quick hitch. Ball's right on the money. The sophomore put it there. Really nice athlete, Pines. Versatile, both sides of the ball.
Pines
and
with
special teams.
Pines with 4 catches tonight for 38 yards.
See if they get Pines in the blocking here for a handoff.
Smith with 5 catches tonight, and Sherman with 4. And there's the freshman, Rocco Bushman, fighting his way across 4-yard run.
When you have 4 wide receivers, which Cumberland Valley's had most of their plays, trying to get that one receiver in as a blocking back, which they did with Pines here, can be helpful.
Did you start as a freshman in week 1?
No, sir.
No, sir? When did you hit the field varsity-wise?
Well, I was behind. We had a pro quarterback, Stan Gelbo, that was 2 years ahead of me.
Okay, so you got to wait.
Yeah.
But how about Rocco Bushman? There he's a freshman, getting a start. That's a big deal, right? At the running back position.
Without a doubt.
There he is again, the freshman, right up
There's
the middle he goes.
Play.
Big hole, big run. And Bushman is the, and now all of a sudden, we talked about the old power game of Cumberland Valley. They're kind of going to a little power look here in the second half,
yes,
right?
You got to establish the running game, and you can get feel in this game. You can't just rely on your passing. passing game, and they're getting some yardage going. They move the chains again.
Kitchen saver first down, so the freshman carrying the football here, getting more momentum, a little bit more. Of course, last year, rushing the football, they only averaged about 2.8 yards rushing the football last year. They were only averaging 65 yards a game rushing a season ago for Cumberland Valley's offense. Stammy going downfield and incomplete. Overthrew his intended target, E-roll by about 5 or 6 yards.
The tough part for Josh Oswald's squad here, they've picked up 2 first downs, but their field position on this possession was started inside the 10-yard line. So they're only out just outside the 30. They have a long way to go here on the 2nd and 10 for the Eagles.
Now, how about Coach Oswald there with that iPad? That's technology now. The coach is allowed to have the iPad. He has it right there in his hand. It's a tool that he's using. As you see, he's going to the iPad.
A lot
Technology,
of coaches are doing that
pretty neat to have that kind of tool right there. 2nd and 10 now for the Eagles from the 32-yard line. They go back to the ground. They've had some success, not this time. The freshman is stacked up. When he got back to the line of scrimmage, did Bushman.
Joe Gass's offense here is going to be a 3rd and long. And when you go for the home run like they did on first down, it's nice to go for those, but if it's an incomplete play, bringing up 2nd and long, it can make it tough. And right now they're not in 4-down territory.
Bennick made the stop. He had a huge first half for the Manheim Township defense, his first big tackle here of the second half. 3rd and 8 from the 34, 5:30 to go, 3rd quarter.
See if Stamey can locate one of these 4 top-notch receivers here on his offense.
Stamey, the sophomore, time to throw, fires, and has enough for the first down. If he caught it, depends on the spot, and they're going to say it is a catch. Great job by Zayden Smith, and that's a kitchen saver first down. Knew exactly where he needed to go and got it.
For a lot of years now, you put your best, a lot of teams at all levels will put their best receiver by himself and put 3 opposite him. But what you do is you're forcing the defense to cover the entire field, and a lot of times you end up with more or less one-on-one coverage with Zayden Smith, your best player there, and he was able to get open, and Stamey was able to deliver to move the chains.
Zayden Smith now 6 catches, 45 yards. They get Pines the football. He's a guy you want to get into space, a 3-year starter, reliable slot receiver, and they get it to Pines, who picks up 8 yards.
Bubble screen, simple bubble, 2 guys blocking downfield. Nice play by number 1. Quarterback Stamey doing a nice job as a sophomore signal caller, getting the ball in the money. And now you're where you want to be. When you can have 2nd and 2, the whole playbook's open for you.
Bushman, the freshman, 8 carries, 22 yards for him. But he's been doing the job. A huge spot to be a starter as a freshman in Cumberland Valley and featured in that backfield. They give it to Rocco. Goes forward, gets a yard and a half before he was stopped, and another penalty marker comes down.
That was thrown by the umpire again. Most of the time, that is an offensive hold.
Wonder if John Ritchie started as a freshman.
He was as a sophomore.
Sophomore.
Yeah, on their 1990 district championship team that beat Lancaster.
Number 71 White. 10-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
That team lost a heartbreaker to a very, very good Wilson team coached by Jerry Slemmer at Hershey Stadium on a Wilson the year after Kerry Collins. And what a football game. I was able to do that on the radio with the late Don Veloso.
Oh.
34-30, I believe it was, Wilson.
Tyler called for the hold. That's his 3rd of the night. So 3rd penalty for the Notre Dame commit. Big Oak.
John Ritchie's junior and senior year, Cumberland Valley won the title over 91 over Lancaster McCaskey, 92 over Harrisburg, 10-7 on a late Corey Gumby field goal. And then they went on to win 2 games later, the state championship over Upper St. Clair, 26-14, I believe it was. 1992 state champions, Cumberland Valley Eagles.
So the penalty is on Tyler, the Notre Dame commit. He picked Notre Dame over Alabama, Ohio State, Penn State, and Clemson. Made his decision in January.
Tough to go wrong there with those schools.
That's pretty neat to have those schools after you.
2nd and 11.
Yep, from the 42-yard line. Here comes a blitz and a big sack on the blitz, coming pretty much untouched all the way to the quarterback.
Luano And I don't even know if Stamey saw him.
I don't think he did. Luano came out of nowhere on a straight blitz. You'll see it here on the replay.
Coming from the left side of your screen.
Yeah, Stamey didn't see him. Look how quick he comes.
Right in the A gap, untouched. And that's where a back has to see that. The back went to the right.
Big blitz called at the right time, and it worked.
And I'm not saying it was the back's responsibility, but it could have been the left side of the line, depending on their pass coverage.
Luano, there he is.
Pass protection.
Third and 22 with that big sack. Stamey going to throw it, and throws it towards the sideline, incomplete, as he was looking for Errol.
Really good job of the Manheim defense bending. Once again, they gave up 3 first downs, but they, due to field position, Cumberland Valley the whole time was in their own territory.
3:44 to go here in the third quarter. It took a lot of clock. This third quarter moving with a lot more tempo and pace than the first half did. So the Eagles will punt the ball back to Manheim Township.
Here's another thing that happens. We talked about penalties. Guys missing on special teams. That's the second for punt return. Now the punt at 10 guys instead of 11.
Alderman, our scholar athlete, will punt the football for Cumberland Valley and takes a bounce and will be touched at the 37-yard line. That's where the Blue Streaks will have the football. Coming up during the fourth quarter of tonight's game, we'll highlight the school bus stop of the game presented by the fine folks of law. Is very important because not only in the state of Pennsylvania but everywhere, drivers need to stop for school buses when the stop arm is out and red lights are flashing. That's an announcement paid by NHTSA. NHTSA's school bus stop of the game. We'll have it for you coming up in the fourth quarter. There's been a couple of games, plays that we could definitely qualify in the school bus stop of the game. So we'll have to find out which play makes the school bus stop of the game in the fourth quarter. Blue Streaks with the football up 7-0. First and 10 from them from their 37-yard line.
Are we going to get it from this rugged guy? And here it is in pistol. No, they're going to throw it.
Play action. They go to the air and the completion. Nice job by Wagner, who was wide open in the middle of the field. So they hit their tight end, Luke Wagner, 6'5", 215-pound senior, kitchen saver, first down. And Coach Evans said, we have plays for our tight end, maybe, at least 10 or 12 plays a game where we like to feature our tight end out in the middle.
Well, the tight end and one of the back/receivers, that left flat, has been available for them often during this football game off of play action almost every time.
Wagner picked up 13 yards on that pass play. First and 10 right from midfield for the Blue Streaks. Quick throw and incomplete.
It had to be a quick throw because Johnson was coming hard off his linebacker blitz spot on the blitz.
So second down, and there's an official timeout on the field for maybe a cramping for one of the Township players. We'll step aside and be right back. .302 to go third quarter. Manheim Township with a 7-0 lead. Injured player. Tonight's Friday Night Rivals live stream is sponsored by Care Property Services, the only call you need.
We just found from our producer, Jamie Wechter, not only did Jeff Save for Cumberland Valley play football and baseball at Clemson, so did Gallagher from Manheim Township, who was a backup quarterback on the '81 National Championship Clemson team. Homer Jordan, number 3, was the starter. Who was the most well-known player throughout the country on that Clemson team? Put you on the spot here.
Oh, boy. What year?
Defensive lineman. That should give it away.
What year? What year?
81.
Oh, 81?
Number 66, number 72 in the pros.
Did he play for the Bears?
You got it now.
The fridge.
William the Refrigerator Perry.
2nd and 10 from midfield for the Blue Streaks. That is Vayu. Vayu with his 10th carry of the night. Picks up 7 yards. And Vayu now with 45 yards on the night rushing.
Can that kid run the football? What a stud player.
10 carries, 47 yards for Vayu. Picked up 7 yards on that play. 3rd down and 3.
He wakes up in the morning, opens his eyes, and he's looking up in the air at weight equipment that is hoisted from his ceiling.
Yes, that he took those 2 old weight bars from the Manheim Township football room that coach was going to get rid of, and he took them. He has them. Screen pass complete to Dixon. Dixon making a man miss, trying to make sure he gets enough for the first down.
Oh, he ran backwards and missed it.
He had the first down by a yard, but then moved the wrong way and now doesn't have the first.
I love the way that guy, he's had some big plays already. He's trying to make something even bigger. I think they're going to go for it. I really think they got it's 4th and a yard.
Knief.
Due to field position, yeah, they're going to go for it.
Kniff 10 of 18, 137 yards passing. Dixon now 5 catches. They're going to go 4th and 1 from the 41.
It's amazing how guys don't get under center. Quarterbacks do not get under center much even in high school anymore.
4th and 1. Right up the middle to the Mr. Weight Room, the weight room warrior. Vayu, the 4-year starter, gets the first down. Vayu's run is a kitchen saver first down run.
I like the offensive set, though, where they, even though the quarterback wasn't under center, they had a fullback and a tailback, and they had a tighter formation with tight ends in the game. Max protection, get up there, many guys at the line of scrimmage, point of attack, first down.
4-yard run by the man coming to the sidelines wearing that number 0. He wore 44 for the last 3 years, but they give him the hero 0 for his senior year, the 4-year starter.
Cumberland Valley's defense has to come up big here.
Here is P.J. Myers running the football. The sophomore bounces to the outside, and he turns a negative play into a positive play. Looked like he was going to be tackled for a 2-yard loss. Ends up with a 3.5-yard gain by the sophomore P.J. Myers that the Manheim Township coaching staff is really high on P.J.
The Eagle defense, you see there, did a nice job stretching it out, but PJ just put his shoulder down and got the positive yardage. Ended up getting 3 yards. Would look like almost a 2-yard loss, like you said.
Final 48 seconds of a quick-moving 3rd quarter.
This will be the last play. Should it be on the ground and stay in bounds?
2nd and 7 from the Eagles' 34 for Manheim Township with a 7-0 lead. They give it back to P.J. P.J. Myers bounces inside, gets to the 30-yard line. Good run by the sophomore.
And they're going to let it run out. Manheim's going to take it to the 4th quarter and have a 3rd and 3.
And they're approaching the red zone. That would be big if they could go up 2 scores. As we're going to head with 4 fingers in the air to the 4th quarter on the Wellspan Orthopedics Friday Night Rivals. Manheim Township leads at 7-0. The 4th quarter is coming up when we get back. Phil Shinner alongside Ford Chapman as we head to the fourth quarter on Wellspan Orthopedics Friday Night Rivals. Manheim Township up 7-0. 3rd and 3 from the 30. We talked about one of the keys was ball control for Cumberland Valley, but it's been ball control for Manheim Township. They have had the ball for about 17 minutes and 50 seconds.
Here comes the handoff to that big stud tailback right here.
Veyu gets the handoff, and he's tackled in the backfield for a loss. What a big play. They knew Zero was getting it. It's Holmes.
Jaden Holmes, what a play.
Holmes has come up big tonight, time and time again. Everyone in the house knew that Zero was getting that football.
Now, here's the thing. For Mark Evans, you're sort of too far out to punt, and it's too far out for a field goal. So you're probably going to try to go for this on 4th and 7, 4th and 6. They're going to have to get a timeout, though, if they don't hustle.
Veyu now 11 carries, lost 3 yards in that play, so he has 44 yards running the football for.
We have a sideline warning, Manheim Township.
What an interesting thing I just saw there. Unbelievable. I'm a stickler for these details. They just got a sideline warning. You could actually do that on purpose because it's their first one. It just put the play clock back to 25. It was down to 11 seconds.
You think Coach Evans was able to pull that off?
I'm not saying he did it on purpose, but
that's pretty smart if you do. That's a trick to the system for
us.
us.
I like it.
4th and 6 now from the 33 for the Blue Streaks.
Tight end down to the bottom. He's going to release him.
Penalty marker down. Senior quarterback will keep it as enough for the first down, but we'll have to wait. Maybe a hold.
Yep, we're going to bring it back and then most likely get a punt from Township. These offensive linemen in their first game on both sides of the ball have picked up some holdings.
Number 56, 10-yard penalty, replay 4th down.
That's Churchville, the senior. This was a young offensive line, 3-year starter left guard, Will Lazo. That's the guy that had a great motor, and coach was really looking forward to him being the leader. We mentioned already that Harrison Roche was a guy that they has some size, 6'3", 215. They wanted in the starting lineup. He got hurt in the scrimmage, so they have a lot of inexperience on that offensive line. That was a big penalty after Jack ran for the first down. So now a 4th down, and Manheim Township circle that. Cumberland Valley will get the football back as Jack ran enough for the first down. We would have kept the ball in Manheim Township's hands. Now they got
almost all these punts are short.
Zolik with his 6th punt of the game.
And not caught. Yep, it happens again. Almost every punt for both sides are very short and not caught.
Time to raise the roof. Brought to you by Able Sun and Roofing. Before you sign, call us. Able Sun and Roofing as we raise the roof here in week number 1 of high school football. It is back. The band, the cheerleaders, the fans. Everybody's back. And the cheering section. Theme tonight, wear red if you're from Cumberland Valley. They've made the drive down to Lancaster. Raise the roof, brought to you by Able Sun Roofing and Siding. So Cumberland Valley has some work to do. Down a touchdown, 7-0, 10:42 to go, 4th quarter. 110 total penalties now. Manheim Township 8 penalties for 60 yards. We talked about that a lot of times in week 1. You have some discipline problems. It's been the case for both of these teams tonight. Stammy, the sophomore, the quarterback. He's going to run it and picks up a yard. Nobody was open downfield. Good coverage by Manheim Township's defense, so Stamby didn't have a choice but to run forward. Lost a yard.
Yeah, it's tough to see that all the way over there on that side of the field, but it's Cumberland Valley needs to get something going here. We're right around the 10-minute mark of the 4th quarter. Down a touchdown.
So he didn't get a yard, he lost a yard, so a 2nd and 11 from about the 15 now. Hand it off, trying to get something running the football. Good second effort, bouncing off for, which would have been just a run to the line of scrimmage, but Bushman was able to manage 2 yards, 2.5 yards on the run with a second effort by the freshman. There's an official's timeout on the field for an injury, and we'll step aside and be right back. Look who it is, number 0, Vayu, the injured player, but he gets up, walks off. He's a tough kid. Plays nose guard on defense. And this year had an opportunity, going to run the ball a lot this year. Last year, only 4 carries, 3 touchdowns. Short yardage guy that, you know, could use his power, but plays that nose guard position as the leading, all-time career leading tackler at Manheim Township. 4 years starter. Already.
Yeah.
4 years.
With a season to go.
Yeah, how about it? So 3rd and 8 from the 19.
Look at this single side receiver up here to start up here at the top. Number 11.
And that's their go-to guy, Zayden Smith, who already has over 5 catches tonight. Stammy looking that way now to Smith. Not open, lobs up a pass and incomplete.
Good coverage.
So you talked about that before. Sometimes to have that one single wide receiver, they like that, especially with a guy like Smith who has that 6'4" frame. Tough matchup.
Absolutely. However, Manheim did a really good job, Coach Yoder's defense, of getting an under coverage there, almost sort of not double teaming him, but getting 1.5 guys on him, and it forced Stamey to realize that. And so Stamey looked to the 3 receiver side and couldn't find anything.
There's Alderman, the scholar athlete for Cumberland Valley, and the punter. Manheim Township will get the football back, and oh, it's muffed. It was muffed, turned over. Cumberland Valley has it. Wow, special teams would be big, and they were there. And there's a momentum changer for the
Huge
Eagles.
Momentum. But I mentioned it just a while ago. Most punts have not been caught today. They've been so short. This one was not, and you got to field it.
Wow, look at this, right
Dropped
through
it.
the hands. So tough and a huge momentum. Feliciano, number 5, Alan Feliciano, had it go right through his hands.
And on the spot was Hertzler, Danny Hertzler.
Hertzler, he's the one that recovered it. Coach Oswald's team is in business.
It was a muff, so you can't pick it up and run it, so good thing just jumping on it by Hertzler. First open set.
1st and 10 now for the Eagles. They get second life.
Bubble.
From the 42-yard line, they get it to Pines. Pines running backwards and gets 2 yards.
What happens there, a very particular thing here. Pines looks like he may have a cramp. But what happens is when you throw the bubble from shotgun, it takes a little bit longer. And by the time Pines had that ball, the defense was right, closer in pursuit. Back when you're under center, you throw that bubble, it gets out quicker.
Pines is the injured player. Both teams not doing great on 3rd down conversions. Both teams under 500 on 3rd down conversions. Tonight's Friday Night Rivals live stream is sponsored by Care Property Services, the only call you need. So Pines, a reliable slot player, 3-year starter. Last year, 31 catches, 5 touchdowns.
And that's a cramp on his left side.
He also had 6 rushing touchdowns a year ago on 133 carries. He was their featured back. One of their featured backs, I should say, last year. On a team that certainly did better passing the football than running. Again, last year, Cumberland Valley, it's kind of odd to think that they only averaged about 65 yards a game rushing in their 6-6 season last year. Well, 2nd and 8 from the 42 for the Eagles. Can they take advantage of the special teams mistake by Manheim Township?
They have that, and that was, even though it was incomplete, they have the 1 receiver side over there to number 11, Smith. Zayden Smith, they got to almost force feed him, which would make Manheim Township defend him even more, which will open up the 3 receiver side.
Gus Senos was the one that was the intended target. There he is on your screen, number 4, unable to come up with a catch. 3rd and 8 now, 8:40 to go, 4th quarter. From the 42-yard line, the Eagles trail by a touchdown. The only touchdown was in the 2nd quarter. It was a 10-play, 59-yard drive, 36-yard touchdown catch by Dixon. Stammy to throw, firing downfield. Looking for number 11. You talked about trying to get the ball to Smith. They did there, but ran out of real estate. Incomplete. There is a marker down. The penalty marker, by the way, is at the line of scrimmage. So
they went for the home run with Smith down the sidelines, which...
Well, you got to like that matchup. One of the bigger players on the field at 6'4".
But he ran out of real estate there. He's too close to the sideline. I'd like to see him get that ball inside more, and he's open on that hitch route if they throw it on rhythm.
I mentioned over 110 penalties combined
Personal
between these two
foul.
teams.
Number 7, Blue. 15-yard penalty results in a first down.
Oh, Coach Evans is going to lose his mind. How many personal fouls tonight on the Blue Streaks? Here's another one. They've had 3 personal fouls called on the Blue Streaks tonight. Oh, look at Coach Evans. You can tell. It's going to be addressed, that's for sure. There's a guy that played his football at the University of Miami, 2 national championship teams, a 1985 grad from Cedar Crest High School, coached at Elko before coming to Manheim Township 2012.
Luano's had a good game. I'd like to see what he did there to cause that personal foul.
That's his second personal foul of the night. First and 10 from the 27. There's the freshman. Penalty markers everywhere as Rocco Bushman explodes to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, that's on number 77, the left guard, I believe, Sean Trotty. I think that's what was on.
Trotty's a sophomore.
He was holding.
Yep, Trotty getting some varsity time, and that's his second.
Holding. Number
night.
52. 10-yard penalty, previous spot. Replay first down.
Let's watch the replay here.
Maybe they got it on the center, 52. We'll have to see on the replay. Yeah, right there, right?
Okay, yeah, and I saw 77 right there, 52. 77 was right behind, right in front of him.
Ethan Bra, smart, tough kid.
That's who it was,
Junior,
the center.
Yep, junior center. Coach really likes him. He's going to be one of their keys at anchoring that offensive line at the center position.
And now it's 1st and 20. But at this point in the game, it's 4-down territory. You got 4 downs to get 20.
Smith, 6 catches, 48 yards. He's the guy to get the football to, and another penalty.
The
Offsides
same guy
on
that got the 15-yard penalty.
Township.
Luano tried to, he was blitzing from his
Prior
linebacker
to
spot.
snap. Encroachment. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Okay, so
He was trying to time that. He was trying to time that blitz up, and he just got over aggressive. And
what do you do to get ready for week 2 to clean up all these penalties for both coaches?
you got to keep working through it. You got to watch film, learn from the film, practice. Nice thing is to have those guys run some hills. The guys got the penalties. That sure can help.
1st and 15 from
My dad called that extra credit.
32. Everybody can use some extra credit. Stammy looking for Smith, and he couldn't hold on to it. And he has 6 catches. He's the top target, a guy they need to get the football to.
Now breaking on the ball there really well was that Baumberger again, but you got to throw those hitches on rhythm. What I mean, you got to throw it right when the receiver settles down to turn for the ball. You can't wait. If you wait, Baumberger's too good on the edge. He's going to come up and make that play almost every time.
Are they setting up a hitch and go with 11?
Could be, but they got a safety over the top there. They're really trying to be careful on the side with Smith, the one receiver side.
2nd and 15 from the 32. The Eagles down a touchdown. They give it to the freshman. Bushman straight up the middle. He stopped at the 28-yard line.
Now the good thing for Gaza, Coach Joe Gaza, the offensive coordinator for Josh Oswald, he knows he has 2 downs to get these 10.5 yards.
4-yard pickup by the freshman. 3rd down coming up for the Eagles. 7:30 to go in the game. Here's a look at the Eagles sideline and the call coming in. So you got a 3rd and 11 here from the 28.
Pines is back in the game as the 3rd receiver there to the wide side.
And he has the most experience of this receiving core. He's a 3-year starter. Pines would be a good option to get the ball to. They give it to
Look at the tackle on the, only a very short game, but it got about 4 yards, 3 yards.
Errol makes the catch. Big target, strong hands, was able to make that catch and gets 3 or 4 yards.
Tackle by Dumser, Simon Dumser. DB, they tackle in space, these Blue Streaks do.
Dumser, who has an interception tonight. One of the 3 interceptions by the Blue Streaks. But then they committed a turnover on the punt and gave the Eagles here this opportunity. A 4th and 7 from them from the 24-yard line, and a whistle before things get started.
I think that was going to be a jet sweep pass. I don't think that was just a jet sweep run on 4th and 6. We're going to go to the air after that.
Wait for the penalty. 135 yards, penalty yards combined between these two teams here in week 1. Guys on your screen there, the officials, not those guys, but the officials, they've been busy tonight. A lot of conferencing, a lot of talking.
Timeout.
Flags.
Cumberland Valley.
There's a timeout on the field. We'll step aside as well. 4th down coming up when we get back for the Eagles. Fourth quarter, 7-0 lead for Manheim Township. Wellspan Orthopedics, Friday night rivals. Phil Shaner, Ford Chapman, week 1. 4th and 7 from the 24. The Eagles trying to take advantage of the Manheim Township turnovers. Coach Evans wants the crowd to get up. Here we go, 4th down. Stammy looking to the right side, firing towards the end zone. And another interception, make it the 4th of the game for this Manheim Township defense. The pick by Zach Bomberger. Interception number 4 by the Blue Streaks D.
It was a wheel route, meaning get out the sidelines and up the sidelines, and Bomberger read it the whole way and was in very good position.
Well, that might,
you'll see it.
That might be the school bus stop of the game right there, as they were going for the end zone to try to tie the game, and Bomberger comes up with the big NIT, the 4th for this Manheim Township defense.
And that was Cam, looked like Cam Wolf, the original starting quarterback, right?
Yep, it was. Number 6, Cam Wolf, who started the game at quarterback, and there it is, trying to go to Cam. And Wolf unable to come up with it. So Wolf did a little bit last year when he got injured and came back and played a little bit of receiver and running back for the Eagles a season ago.
Look at this offense. Instead of just running the ball 3 times and potentially not getting a first down and punting, they went to the air off quick play action, flat to number 22, who was on the spot, got upfield.
Yeah, the sophomore Chase Fletcher, part of the Fletcher triplets, the 2 sophomores, Nate and Chase, 19 and 22, the Fletcher brothers, who Coach Evans says they're going to be something. Remember the Fletcher name.
And now you're 2nd and 2, and you just want to chew clock and take your time getting this first down. Cumberland Valley needs to, after this first down, potentially get a stop and get that ball back.
That was an 8-yard pass play, and now they do put it on the ground with P.J. Myers, another sophomore. So sophomore here the last 2 plays, and it's good enough for a 1-800-GOT-JUNK first down. So the super sophomores, Fletcher has an 8-yard catch on a pass, and then P.J. Myers has a run for a first down up to the 34.
We talked about Kenneth's academic ability, the quarterback for Manheim here. What he should do right now is always snap. Every time the snap should be under 5 seconds, preferably under 3 if you're the Township Blue Streaks, because you want to chew as much time as possible as you try to run this clock out.
Kenneth, one thing Coach Evans said, he believed that he'd be a great manager of the game. That's what he has to do, manage the game. There's the sophomore P.J. Myers tackled from behind, and a tackle for a loss.
Good tackle by that was Smith. That was Smith. Yep, Zayden Smith, 2 sides of the ball. And there's an example of a running back. You saw it right there. Get north-south and give yourself 2 yards. Don't try to go east-west when you're going up against a good athlete like Smith there.
Smith, 26 tackles a year ago, a Division I recruit, is being recruited on the defensive side of the ball and being recruited by some big schools like Syracuse, Ohio State, Clemson. Interested in him, have shown interest. On the defensive side at that 6'4" frame. And he has 6 catches offensively tonight. And defensively has a couple of tackles, so that was a big one.
Let's see what we happen here. The play clock's only at 20. They reset it. Quarterback should wait. He is a student of the game. Look at this guy. You're right. Look at him waiting. Very, very heady. Play clock down to 7. Screen.
Sets up the screen and has the completion. Well played by the Eagles. Only a gain of a yard on that screen play as they were able to have the completion, but just a short gain on the screen.
And what that completion does is keep the clock moving. Had that been incomplete, obviously the clock will stop.
Landon Crane, a gain of 2 yards. 3rd and 7, 3:45, clock running here in the 4th quarter. Blue Streaks up a touchdown.
Would love to see a if you're man, I'm a draw here to number 0, but he's up so far, they're not going to hand it off to him, that's for sure. He's at the fullback position now.
Last year in the playoffs, these two teams played to a 14-7 final, won by Manheim Township. Quarterback keeper.
Oh, he got a yard away.
Kneff just a yard and a half short.
They're not going to go for it here, you would think.
Yeah, you think you'd punt it at this point. Clock running at 3:15. Take a look again here at Jack's run. Waiting for some blockers. Just shy.
Don't be surprised to see them try to draw them off sides and just get a timeout when the clock gets down to 1 and try to go from there. They're going to line up like they're going for it.
There you see the clock, 2:55 and rolling for Coach Evans.
Taking too long in the huddle. Clock at 9, play clock. They're going to call a timeout here.
Play clock now at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the play clock has got to 0.
Oh, they're not going to call a timeout. They're going to take a delay and punt. Surprising on that.
So they let the play clock go all the way down. It gets the game clock to 2:40.
Delay of game. 5-yard penalty. Replay 4th down.
So delay a game, and Manheim Township will punt the football back to Cumberland Valley. Eagles down a touchdown, 2:40 to go in the 4th quarter.
Penalty puts the ball back at the 38-yard line, 4th down and 6.
4th and 6, 38. And the punt is Zulik, who's been very busy, the sophomore punter tonight. Again, only one punt basically was tried to be returned, and that turned into be a turnover. A lot of them have just rolled, and that's where Cumberland Valley will have it.
You know, the big thing here, you don't get a return. That punt that's not real far, but if it rolls out 10, 12, 15 yards, it actually helps you.
The school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. Always.
Here it is, the school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. Was that interception that just happened. The Eagles were looking to try to tie the game, and coming up with the big interception was Zach Baumberger.
NHTSA. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
There it is, the NHTSA school bus stop of the game, brought to you by NHTSA. That was a big play, a big interception to keep Cumberland Valley off the board. 1st and 10 from the 20. Stammy gonna run.
Nice job picking up yardage for Stammy, but there's no 2-minute warning. There's now one in college, but the NFL obviously had it for a long, long time, but in high school you don't have it, and the clock is now, as you see on your screen, we're down to 2:10.
VU made the stop. Yeah, college has they call it the 2-minute timeout. Of course, the 2-minute warning in the NFL. So a 2nd and 3 after the 7-yard run.
Taking too much time here.
Stammy looking downfield to the middle of the field and incomplete, and was looking for the guy that you think he'd be looking for, is Aiden Smith, but incomplete.
On a crossing route, he went about 15 yards downfield and cut across. You'll see it here on your screen. There he goes. A little behind him.
So a 3rd and 3. The Eagles need a 1st down here. 1:48 to go. Got to move the change. You want to stay out of 4th down opportunities if you can. 3 wideouts, bottom of your screen. They get the quick pass and enough for a 1st down. So they go to Pines, and that's a good option. The senior, who's played a lot of varsity football, has the 1-800-GOT-JUNK 1st down.
That's going to stop the clock momentarily until the chains move, which can be beneficial. 1:42, clock's going to start again.
McCracken made the stop for the Blue Streaks, but it was enough for a 1st down. Your comes some pressure. Stammy stepping up in the pocket and then just throws it away. Out of bounds. And a late penalty marker comes in. That stops the clock with 1:29 to go in the fourth quarter. We'll have to wait for the flag. Again, over 135-yard combined penalty yards.
You know what? That's going to be somebody lined up ineligible. Somebody covered somebody, meaning they were lined up in the wrong spot because the flag was thrown when the ball was thrown. It's my assumption that that's going to be the flag because it came from way over here on the Manheim Township sideline.
Pine 6 catches, 47 yards. Smith tonight has 6 catches. Stammy 7 of 17, 61 yards, but those 2 interceptions. And Rocco Bushman, the freshman, 11 rushes, 29 yards.
They're checking to see if they want to decline it or take the penalty. It would bring up a 1st and 15 or make it 2nd and 10.
What would you do?
Either one. 5 more yards back may not hurt you, but they're probably
an ineligible man downfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
And now that could have been a lineman that went downfield or somebody that covered somebody up inadvertently.
Ball goes to the 28-yard line. 1st and 15 for the Eagles. 1:29 on the clock, and they're down a touchdown, 7-0. The only touchdown of the game was back in the second quarter.
Quarters coverage
goes back to Pines, and that's a guy with a lot of playing experience who's made 2 big catches here on this drive. So 2nd down from the 33 after the Pines catch. Pines now with 7 catches on the night. Back to Pines again. He held on to it. No, now they're going to say he didn't have it. Or are they stopping the clock?
Now, shouldn't this be 4th down?
Let's take a look. I mean, I guess they were, Pines didn't drop it. I guess saying he got out of bounds to stop the clock was the sign. So here it is. Watch Pines. Hold it right there.
Yeah, he had it.
With one hand. So a gain of 4 yards so a 3rd and 6 from the 37-yard line. So the last 3 passes have all gone to the 3-year starting senior, Brody Pines. And incomplete right up the middle of the field. That'll be enough for a first down. Beck Collins there with the big catch. What a catch by Collins, wide open. Takes it into Blue Streaks territory.
Nice job by Stammy and his poise of finding the open receiver.
1-800-GOT-JUNK first down, and there's a timeout on the field. Cumberland Valley calls timeout. It's time for our play of the game. Heating up the play of the game, sponsored by WC Aschenauer and Son. So we're going to check out the play of the game.
Beck Collins did a really nice job of finding an open area there.
He certainly did.
Getting the ball, getting upfield to get the first down.
Right in the middle of the field for Beck Collins' 2nd catch of the game. And here it is, heating up the play of the game, brought to you by WC Aschenauer and Son. Manheim Township. This was the play of the game. The only touchdown of the game. What a touchdown catch by Dixon. Part of a 10-play, 59-yard drive, the 36-yard touchdown. Great catch. And there is our heating up play of the game. The only touchdown, the only points of the night. The senior quarterback puts his hands in the air because he had 6. So there's 59 seconds remaining in this game. 1st and 10 for Cumberland Valley from the Blue Streaks 47-yard line.
Empty backfield, 3 receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom.
Stammy, the sophomore, in at quarterback. Wolf started, but Stammy came in the second quarter and replaced him. Stammy has the completion to Smith. Smith's 7th catch of the game, but he stays in bounds. So they're going to have a little bit of tempo, and they're going to call a timeout to stop the clock, and we'll step aside as well. 49 seconds to go. Manheim Township up 7-0. Let's talk timeouts. Cumberland Valley used their last timeout. Coach Evans and Manheim Township have 3 timeouts remaining. Second and 5.
3-man rush for the defense. A lot of guys in zone coverage, backed up pretty far.
Second down and 5, looking for Pines, and almost another interception, almost in and out of the hands.
Great break on the ball there by
Fletcher,
19 Fletcher.
The sophomore, Nate Fletcher. His brother made a couple of big plays tonight. There's Nate's big first play for the sophomore. Almost had another pick. Manheim Township defense has been big tonight with the interceptions.
If you're Cumberland Valley, you may not be. I would maybe run a bubble screen here to Pines and get the 2 lead blockers. He'll get probably up to the 30-yard. He'll probably pick 12, 15 yards up because they're so deep.
3rd and 5. Remember, Cumberland Valley, no timeout. Stammy to throw towards the sideline, has the catch, and gets out of bounds. Perfect. You can't design that any better. And how about it's Cameron Wolf. Cameron Wolf, who started the game as the quarterback, makes a great catch and gets out of bounds. And it's a Cumberland Valley first down. Big play. What a catch by Cameron Wolf, the senior who started this game at quarterback. 17-yard pickup and a 1st and 10 now at the 25-yard line after 17-yard Stammy to Wolf pass
Huge play by the Eagles.
38 seconds to go. 1st and 10 from the 25. Stammy, will he look at Wolf again? Maybe. Stammy's going to run it. Penalty marker down.
Cumberland Valley has no timeouts.
Correct.
But they're going to get, the clock's going to stop because they're going to have a hold to move it back, but then the clock is going to restart, so they got to be ready for the play.
Fernandez to wait for the call.
Holding, 51. 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
So Carson Davis, the captain and steady leader, the senior on that offensive line, was the one called for the holding for the Eagles. One of 2 seniors on the offensive line for Cumberland Valley. 2 seniors, 2 juniors, and a sophomore on the offensive line for the Eagles.
Clock starting, like I told you, they got to be ready to snap the ball.
Got to be ready to go. Clock is running. 1st and 20 from the 35. Clock is an issue. Eagles have no more timeouts, and they're down a touchdown.
Lost 10 seconds there.
Stammy has no one open. Gonna set and fire towards the end zone. Incomplete. Wow.
Oh, he had him wide open.
He had Jaden open. Errol was open, but couldn't come up with it. Jaden Errol, the junior, had him. There you see, what a great play. Just get one hand on it.
I take that back. It was not a drop, that's for sure. That was Zach
Baumgartner, who had the interception in the end zone.
Yes.
Just had a saving. He was, of course, our school bus stop of the game. Well, guess what? He just made another huge school bus stop of the game, knocking that ball away from Jaden. So here we go, 2nd and 20 now, 12 seconds to go from the 35-yard line. The Eagles need a touchdown. Stammy all the way at midfield. Now he falls. Falls down at the 48-yard line, and that's going to do it. Manheim Township's going to win this game 7-0. The Eagles, they needed a big play to try to tie it or win it. They couldn't get it. Stammy fell down back at the 48-yard line, and Manheim Township wins it 7-0, your final. We'll be back with the post-game show coming up. Wellspan Orthopedics Friday night rivals. The Blue Streaks win it 7-0. We'll be back to wrap it up. Week 1, we knew it was going to be fun. It was a fun night in Lancaster. Manheim Township now leads this series 8-1 over Cumberland Valley. They have put up some big numbers in their wins over Cumberland Valley. Not tonight, only one touchdown, but it was enough. They've scored 42, 37, 35, 37, 31, 32 points in the last couple of games in this series, but not tonight. 7-0, they hold on to win. They salute their fans. Here's our player of the game, powered by Milk and the Allied Milk producers. What a night it was for Dixon. Here's an interception. He did it defensively, and then again, 2 picks. He wasn't done. They need Dixon for the only score of the night. The game-winning score, this beautiful 36-yard touchdown grab coming up. Dixon is our player of the game, powered by Milk, the Allied Milk producers. What a night for Manheim Township. Who thought that would be the only score? It would hold up. 7-0 the final. Manheim Township gets the win. And next week, they will take on Central York. Cumberland Valley falls to 0-1. They will be at Carlisle, Coach Oswald's former team, next week. Championship trophy, the first one of the season, the Wellspan Orthopedics Friday Night Rivals Championship trophy is going to go to Manheim Township. Next week, we'll be with you on Saturday, of course, not Friday. We'll be with you on Saturday. There's the championship trophy with the coach, Coach Evans. Holds that trophy high in a 1-0 start for the Blue Streaks. We'll see you next Saturday at 1 o'clock. Four and myself will be at Harrisburg High, McDevitt and Harrisburg, the battle for the Berg. Last year, it was an overtime event that Harrisburg won. It'll be a lot of fun. So that's when we'll see you next week, not on Friday night, on Saturday. 7-0 the final here. Manheim Township gets the victory. CBS 21 would like to take a moment to thank Wellspan Orthopedics, who made this game possible. For the viewers at home, we'd like to thank all the fine athletes that performed tonight, and we'd also like to thank all the sponsors that contributed to Friday Night Rivals on your screen. To watch this game, again, anytime, anywhere, along with more Friday Night Rivals content, check out CBS21.com and watch on YouTube at the CBS 21 YouTube channel. Friday Night Rivals is a production of Sports Fever Television Network. Thanks to Matt Bukovich, our stat man on location, and my partner, Ford Chapman, and the entire Friday Night Rivals production crew. I'm Phil Shaner saying good night. We'll see you next Saturday for another edition of Friday Night Rivals. The final tonight from Lancaster, the Blue Streaks 7, the Eagles of Cumberland Valley 0. We'll see you on Saturday. Have a great week, everybody.